And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet Team West. A defenseman from the Des Moines Buccaneers, number 2, Kirby Proctor. A defenseman from the Sioux City Musketeers, number 3, Luke Sharpson. A defenseman from the Fargo Force, number 5, Cedric Fiedler.
welcome into Lincoln, Nebraska for the 2019 USHL NHL Top Prospects game, and we are just a few moments from puck drop. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, and I am joined by Des Moines Buccaneers play-by-play man Ben Gislason. And Ben, as we talked about in pregame, should be a good one.
Well, the pace is going to be really high end. You got all kinds of talent. It's funny, you alluded to intermission interviews. We're going to hear from the East after one. We'll hear from the West after two. But, you know, I was the one who sat down with Mike Hamilton, head coach of East, as well as Greg Moore and Oliver David. And, you know, they were all joking and chatting about, you'll hear about it. It was a really fun interview. They talked about, we're not quite sure who's going to play defense in this game. Because it is, and granted, the scouts are here to see defense, and they know there will be, but especially with the lack of X's and O's and how wide open this game could be, because there won't be a lot of structure to it, it'll be interesting to see how much space there is out there for all these talented players here tonight.
At center ice, they met just over the weekend between Shane Pinto and Matej Blumel, toe-to-toe, and off the draw, it's Pinto, the hometown hero here for the Stars, winning the draws. Quickly tipped into West territory, however, and that one will just drift its way back to the far side corner. There along the wall, scooped up by Johnson, thrown in front of his net, and near dangerous turnovers cleared back down, and that'll come back on an ice.
What a gutsy first play from Luke Johnson in his left-hand corner. I bet you Jones and Johnson are sharing a little chuckle there, maybe going like, hey, Johns, maybe don't throw that one right in front. My first puck touch for Zach Jones is right in front of Seville with two guys swarming him.
Interesting start, to say the least, and on the near side it'll be the same matchup, Pinto and Blumel, and with some help Pinto wins it, and that's lugged ahead by Jack Malone, recently named to the team after Bobby Brink was injured shortly before at the World Junior A Challenge. Back in over the line, that'll be Team East. That's first off, handy one off, that shot goes high off the stick of Blumel, who leads the USHL in goals entering tonight's competition. On the west end of the ice. Quick reset coming over the line as Johnson lugs it in, hands it off to his left for Pinto, tried to battle down the wall and was quickly turned away. East looking back toward the near side of their own zone, and that'll just drift back out for Luke Johnson, who sends it in and around, and fresh skates will come on for Team West. Back behind the end line, that'll be scooped up and sent on up the far side boards, pinched just out, as outcoming with the puck is Team East, as that one's just ladled in, and a much needed change upcoming for the visitors. Along the near wing, it'll be Johnson, this time Ryan, moving the puck up to the middle of his own zone. It's lugged out there and swept in over the left side of the line. On the far wall, that puck tipped out, and holding it in for the moment is Kirby Proctor. Long scrum, sees the puck to the top, just tipped out of the zone, and back again to neutral ice, where Team West will try a reset back, now drifting to their own zone. Along the far boards, puck tangled for along the far wall. That one sprung free down in the underneath. And on the backboards, that's picked up as Michelli tried to free it. It was sent down to the far side. Both Jackson twins on the ice for Team East as the stellar tandem for the Dubuque Fighting Saints heads off for a change. In the meantime, deep inside East territory, circling back with the puck and lugging it back the near side were the East. They were quickly turned away, and now on a second effort, they'll get back out the zone. Fiedler tosses it in, and chasing after it deep is Ryan Johnson down on the wall. That one's tangled for, pulled away by Phillips. And that one will be tucked ahead for Yami Kranilla. Stellar young rookie, passing one off here from a heavy shot from the near side. His glove down, Brady Meyer sent it right on, and a good grab there from Ben Cross, or Keegan Karki, excuse me.
Well, that was kind of the first real exchange we've seen in the opening, well, just about a little over 2 minutes now, and definitely some nerves a little bit there, the opening shifts. You didn't see a lot of passes connecting, but a nice little exchange there. Again, Kranilla with that speed and his gifted ability to move his boots. A nice spot from Brady Meyer, who got open in that just north of the circle, the right side of the net, and let one go, and Karki sees some early rubber.
Down the ice, we'll see a puck. Was it tipped? It was not, and icing will bring it right back the other way as the Fresh line's on. We saw Phillips on the west side. Forgive me, I did not see the number on the opposite end for the East taking the draw, but nonetheless, another reset coming and another chance for everyone to catch their breath in this very early going.
Yeah, Trevor Janicki, a very, very good centerman out of Central Illinois. Maple Grove, Minnesota kid. I got to give a shout out to my mini guys, being a Minnesota native as well, but he plays a very savvy game. Hold on here, we got a chance.
Right in front, a pass goes through the slot over to the near side where it's picked up and circled back again. This time it'll be Seedham trying to settle things down. That one's crossed to the near side for Seedham. He's turned back at the red line. Jumping in on it is Jones. He tries to find a friendly stick, and that one instead will just be dumped in deep on the near wall. A regroup coming for East up the near side boards. That one's chucked ahead by Mastro Simone. Turned again back. And another reset coming, unless here a near turnover on that far wing. Heavy bodies to the far boards.
Heavy is right. Andre Lee and Will Francis, very big units. Gosh, Lee is a horse out there, 6'4", 201. Francis not too shy either at 6'5", 211. So those are indeed, Tim, some big bodies.
Speed and skill in this game for sure is an emphasis, but don't forget some of the big boys out there on the ice already throwing the body down in the corner. A couple more as they join over the puck, and quickly Team East emerges. Is out coming again up the far wing are the visitors on the near side. Nodler swings it over the boards. That one's chopped at and tapped back out rather. As East tries to keep it away from the oncoming Lee. Lee barrels in and just throws the body and gets the puck down low. Frisch skates back on for West as Pinto's line is out. He tried to get a piece on that on the far boards, and instead it'll be ushered back to the near side. On at center, takeaway for Team East. That one's brought back in, dropped back. Here's a try from the slot, broken up and tipped just wide of the net as traffic came in front of Seville. Before able to pull that away was Malone.
Really nice look from Derkulik there coming down the right wing wall. He had that later Ivan Blumel just couldn't quite connect. But good job by Blumel to stay with it there and get a little bit of an opportunity off.
Puck flips back out to center as East comes in over the far side. Afanasiev throws one toward the net. That one's broken up there and swung right back by West as Pinto sends it through the left side of his familiar ice, and it's quickly taken right back there by East as Afanasiev will just toss it off the sidewall, and I believe we got to play with the high stick.
The neutral zone has been tough sledding for both teams so far, and again, you only got 2 sessions of ice, and both of them were short, counting this morning and then yesterday's practices for both teams. So look for things to steady up a little bit as players begin to build as much chemistry as humanly possible in a 60-minute game with players that oftentimes they haven't played with or maybe even met before. So definitely we'll see more connecting of the passing here, I think, as this game moves along.
On the left side boards, Romano tugs it free and down the left wing. He'll race into the corner. He's shouldered off there, back down low. That one will rattle around for Giraudet, and that one's tipped back. West takes it back, turn and fire in front, and that one was tipped just wide through a screen. Back to the point, that's held by West. Turn toward the corner, a race to the wall, sees the puck tipped in front, loose in the slot, backhand on, flip just high over the crossbar, back around into the near side corner. Romano on it there, hands it off, centering feet intercepted, and back again comes Team East. Off the tip, that'll come back down on the near boards, swept up ice, by Jones, back around to the far boards. Pinching in there is West. They take a piece of the puck, but not all, and back out with speed comes the East as Janicki races in. He's got plenty of speed. Centers in front. The tip is back toward the front of the net. Seville makes the save. That one's still bouncing around, pinballing through the low side of the West zone, and they'll settle things down as Jones catches his breath and helps out his teammate at Tri-City and Isaiah Seville. Quick turnover here at center, and right back in comes the East. Heavy pressure, walking in, backhand, stop by Seville. Another try from Janicki, misses high. Another turnaround chance comes right on, an easy save for Seville, who's getting an early workout here as the East is putting something together, as nearly a turnover in front leads the puck around to the near side corner. Janicki going to the wall again. Electric with his speed and his skill, gets it back up to the point. A nice tip out there by Phillips to give a little bit of breathing room here for West, as they'll try to again tip the puck out of their zone. Instead they turn it right back over. A poke check to the slot, it's blocked away and up and out of play, and everyone will catch their breath.
Well, the first team to sustain any kind of pressure coming from Team East, and it starts with some turnovers and the white squad capitalizing on them. 2 really paramount chances there, the give and go, and then the give and go again between Janicki and I think it was Michelli in front, and then you have the opportunity created by Ethan Frisch. Again, we highlighted his speed and his smooth skating. He showed it there, turning and burning around the right circle and cutting in, trying to go 5-hole, but Seville, we haven't talked about him much. He is outstanding, and I mean outstanding with a capital O. A great save on Frisch.
Out of the zone after a bit of tie-up. West is able to push it back to the eastern blue line. Now the puck is free at the top of the near circle and slowing things down. Looking to pull this one up and out are the squad in white, and along the long scrum on the near glass. Puck shoveled free and swung in deep by West. Bit of contact down low, picked up now by Lee. Turns it back to the top of the zone, held in there. Johnson rattles it around onto the near side. That caroms out, and out come the East for the moment. Just a quick tip at center, and the West have it back. Callian Chielli sends it across for Johnson. And that one will be held through the middle now by Proctor. He'll fire it in, chip it down while the West starts a change. Underneath Romano now digging, trying to pull that puck free. And that one is tied up, and excuse me, instead of Romano, that's Malone. Now that puck is swung toward the front of the net and tipped away by the East. And they'll try again down the ice, and this one should come back on the icing, and it will.
Looking back to that shift there at neutral, Ryan Johnson, and another guy that we talked about a little bit in our open, he makes plays so deliberately. And when you talk about defensemen that are good decision makers, even if it's the wrong decision, they're going to make it with 100% gusto. And I just watch his swagger when he's on the ice, and it's a little hinge play back to his partner there, Proctor, which led to a breakout and an entry for the Team West.
Here's a tip in front, and that one sent just wide of the net as Malone got a piece of the point shot. Now that'll come back around to the corner. Scooped up by Team East again, and now carried on to the near side. Flipped ahead by Afanasiev, and now back over on a turnover comes West. A shot goes wide of the net and rattles its way back out to center and beyond. Back down comes Proctor of the Omaha Lancers to flip it back across. That one's sent on and not tipped. And icing will come back the other way as Blue tries to gain some of that rhythm we talked about that will take some time.
Yeah, it certainly will, and a good opportunity there for Matt Brown, and he'll get more tonight, but he'll probably take a look at his twig there and think it malfunctioned on him a bit. Didn't get a lot of lumber on that shot, but it's one of his great assets. His release is lightning quick, and he can catch goalies unaware very, very quickly. So keep an eye if Brown gets in the ticks, because he likes to pick corners, and he does it in pretty rapid fashion. The puck gets off his stick in a blur.
On the far side, Matej Blumel swings it back to the point. That's onto the near wing for Jurade. He'll try a shot through traffic, bounced in front first off. Pulls it back and now sends it on to the blue line once more. Another try through a screen, stopped by Seville, and that one will be floated back out to center as Seville comes up big yet again in the early going. Over the far wing, back in again. That's Blumel sending it right on, and the tip in front is answered by Seville once again. And that man moves through traffic like few others in this league.
Oh, well, and it's a combination of athleticism as well as good fundamentals. He's very athletic, but as most goalies like, the best goalies you'll watch, yes, they're athletic, but they have to know their fundamentals. They have to be on their angles. In Seville, he pushes and plants so well. He gets to his spots, and he's right where he needs to be, but if he's not, he's got that athleticism to rely on as a backup, and we're going to see more of that as he continues to play in this game.
On the left side of neutral ice, that one will be powered in by the West. The shot cranks just wide and off the back wall toward the far side corner. That one's shoveled back again. Just out now come the East. They'll tip one through the middle. Nice play there with the savviness of Luke Johnson with the stick to redirect that back the other way. Out to play the puck is Keegan Karki. Now that one's forced loose onto the far side half wall. Flung on toward the net. Loose in front. It's out there for the taking, and the East will find it. And they'll scoop it back and send it back the other way as Michelli maneuvers through the middle. Now takes to the top of the slot. Tried to hand it off, and that one's quickly scooped up by Kirby Proctor. And they'll sort that back out to center ice. On the right side now, Meyer. Flips it on and ahead. That one's down the wing for Phillips into the corner. Meyer helps him out. That comes on side of the net and is scooped up by Phillips, bringing us to our first media timeout. So in this one, you know, again, it seems like East had a couple of nice sustained pressures here, Ben, but as the game has kind of gone along, you see a little bit of pushback, but not a whole lot of sustained offense from West. And I know, as we've said, it takes a little while to get going here, but it seems like East, when they're in, they're in. And then when the West has been in, they're kind of relying on a couple of chances right off the rush and entry. Haven't seen a whole lot of established possessions there. And Keegan Karki, when he's had to work, hasn't been all that often thus far, but has made us a couple of nice plays.
Well, Karki, just by default of his size, he takes up so much of the net. He's a massive kid, as you mentioned when we were reading the starters off, 6'5", 204. But I think the thing that East has been doing that the West hasn't yet is the flow through neutral has sorted out a little bit for the East. We saw early, both teams kind of really couldn't figure it out. There was a lot of passes. There were some early icing whistles, which was to be expected. But East is starting to get some groovy moves going through neutral. Their D are getting the puck to the forwards quickly. And in those turnovers that have been created by the forecheck, which, again, hasn't been worked on by the East, that's where a lot of their opportunities have come from thus far. They've foiled some breakouts in the high slot for West, and then those quick forwards, Glumel, you got Afanasiev, they turn the things around on you pretty quick, and that's what we've seen on a couple of those chances so far for East.
Off the faceoff, West trying to get some of that sustained offense going. Got a shot, and it was tipped to the corner where they'll regain possession and then proceed to turn it right back over to East, and they'll scoop it and carry in as Mastro Simone tried to find a partner, had it poked free, and now back the other way comes Phillips. He'll ladle it on, and in comes Meyer. The big-bodied Meyer is going to barrel in toward the net, now wrap it back around as he lost and regained it. Here's a try from the point through, traffic blocked wide. And that one will be scooped again back up by the team in white. as they're looking to create numbers off a slow change, but a good finish to that swap for West. Now a try from the far side of the net, poked wide away. And now Meyer will scoop it up and just send it on to the near side of neutral ice. Yami Cornilla in pursuit and then heading for a change. East on the regroup again, trying to get some odd man numbers in on the entry. Here's a try just wide of the net. Cranks off the corner glass and back on for Juraday. And now back comes Procop to settle things down.
I tell you what, sorry to cut you there, Chris Juraday, I didn't really know much about him coming in, but I really, really like the way he plays with the puck. He moves it and he gets up and he loves to be that late arriver. He's been an option in the offensive zone, and his patience on the blue line, specifically creating a couple chances with shots through, has been spectacular. I didn't really know much about this kid coming in, but he's impressed me so far.
And here is Breen trying to impress for the East. The tip off the glove is stopped by a diving play from Seville. Somehow getting over and keeping the puck out with the leather. And back comes Team West looking to capitalize down into the corner where the bodies will meet along the wall and East will regroup.
Well, there's the athleticism that we were talking about just about a minute ago. Oh, my goodness. Again, he was out of position because it was a tough play, a bad bounce, but great recovery and a wonderful save.
Here's a nice takeaway, and back the other way comes Team West over the near side. A give to the far side is broken up through the middle, and now back comes East on the transition. It's Afanasiev in over the line. He'll take a try, just shaving the crossbar back across to the far hash marks. Down low, Blumel looking to force it around to the near wing with some help from Afanasiev. Back to the blue line. That's tripped up, and a nice check keeps the puck in for Team East there, as that one will rattle its way back down to Johnson underneath the goal line. That's kissed up and out of play and brings another stoppage. Exactly 11 minutes and no score. Shots 6-4 in favoring of the visiting East. I say that with a bit of quotation marks here, but starting to see some pickup here from both sides.
Well, and speaking of no goals, our production assistant, also you could call him the head of the media for the USHL, in Kevin Myers, passed along a note to me. This is the longest that this game has gone, being the USHL NHL Top Prospects game, without a goal. So perhaps, is it defense? Maybe not. Maybe goaltending, we'll say, early in this game has been a storyline early, as we have no score yet.
On through the middle, Romano looking to change that. Send it across now. Paquette comes in over the right wing, and that's just served up and turned back by the East and worked back to center. Quickly scooped back the other way by Swankler. Tried to play it off and in, and that's turned right back again by the East, defending well in neutral ice. Back down to the corner. That one's picked up and dropped back down low. That's lugged ahead and brought on by the East again as Johnson was looking for some help, and now the puck just bounced away from a couple of surprise bodies that are on the near wall. Swankler on the left wing, trying to tip it up and out. He gets two tries at it, and the second works as Paquette now searches through the left side for a lane, and he'll just elect to dump and change here, as the West will look for another combination here to answer the breakout here from the East on the far side. That's pushed in over the line, picked up by Ty Jackson. He'll drop it back for his twin brother Dylan. That'll be pushed to the point now, flopped on and thrown through the pad there and to the side. It wasn't through, but rather tipped, as Procop will serve it around to the near corner. Phillips will loft it out, and that'll bring us back into neutral ice as another chance. Didn't miss by a whole lot there on the net of Isaiah Seville with a whistle and a glove pass.
Well, a bit of a blur there from the Jackson twins in the corner, and it's obviously no surprise they worked together so well, considering they once shared a womb. I mean, that was really good work from the Jacksons down low, in and out, around, and that's hard for a defensive tandem to play with because you're never quite sure where they're going, and it's something about twins. I mean, you could talk about this at length. You think about the Sedins back in their glory days in the NHL. They find a way to know where they're going before other people do, and that was a display there to get the puck back to the point. Feenstra with a great shot from the point. Dubuque Fighting Saint, a nice defenseman wearing number 5 in white tonight.
A lot of ice time for Phillips here as he'll gain the left side, turning it in toward the slot. That's loose and tipped away. Turn toward the side of the net, and there's Karki and a tip and score. Forgive me if I did not see the number, but from the far side, that puck got behind Karki, who had slid over to answer, and the West is up 1-0. That goal coming at the 12:40 mark of the first period.
Looked like Ethan Phillips picking up the change in front there, and in a game full of skill and laden with talent, it wasn't a pretty one. It was all kinds of garbage in front. There was teeth flying, there were giblets all over the place, and a great job by Ethan Phillips to sort it out and go where goal scorers go, right to the net front, and Karki couldn't settle it down. 1-0 game.
And the West, which, as we mentioned, looked like they had some good entries, finally get some offense in and around the net, and they're able to take advantage and off the draw quickly. The East will try to answer as a pass is tipped here at the red line toward the net of Seville. He'll paddle it away, and that'll be picked up by Proctor. Turned up the near side for Lee. Lee looking for a lane through the middle. That one's tied up and one right back by East. They'll battle it through. Proctor gets it back and now tried to find Lee. It's behind him and incoming is Mastro Simoni. He's turned away again by Proctor. Now another try up the far side. Will net better results for the West as they're in over the left side of the East line. Back down in toward the net. Karki thought about it and then had to come back out to the cage. And now East will pick up the loose change and will come around the far side and wrap it in. Down low Seville will leave the puck, and oncoming is Ryan Johnson yet again. That one's ladled ahead and just dumped in toward the far side corner of Team East's zone. On the backboards, long scrum, sees East again emerge. Their try through the middle is broken up, and they'll race back to the far wing. Good pressure here from West, as that one is finally lifted back out to center, and Procop will slow it down yet again. The top of the zone, fight's won by Breen, but delayed offside here. We'll give the West another try. Left side up the far boards from Feeler. That one's turned around to the near side, and Malone will scoot in. He's got Pinto crashing, and he missed him by a hair, as that puck will go back across to the far side corner. Along the wall, the Pinto showing off the small area, working his way up the far wing. Now to the point, a shot comes in, bouncing in front, try, score! Right on the doorstep, that's ripped right through, and it's 2-0 West, and I believe that one, correct me if I'm wrong here, is courtesy of, I could not see the number as he's coming down here.
Jack Malone put it away.
It is Jack Malone, okay, I was trying to get the shoulder arm there, and quickly he was mobbed so fast he was able to put it through, and it's 2-0 West. All of a sudden, the goals are coming.
Well, that looked like a perfectly executed cycle play out of the corner. A couple of good dirty works down low by that three-man unit up front. You get Malone cycling. I think Brown was out there as well. A nice look to the point and a walk from Luke Johnson to the middle. Never such thing as a bad shot in the sport of hockey, especially 5-on-5. He puts it on goal, and Jack Malone staying hot. The reigning USHL forward of the week puts it home, and it's a 2-0 game. We would not have guessed this based off how much we were talking about Team East to begin this night, would we, Tim?
No, not at all, as the West have found their rhythm here a bit, as they'll try again now up the right wing. They've got speed and space here through the middle. That one's thrown wide as it was tipped on the back check. Here's a try on the near post, shoveled high and off a glove. Back over to the point and served back down low. That one will be rattled around to the back wall, scooped onto the far wing. That one's chopped at, one back by the West. Here's another try, left circle, coming in on net and tipped wide again. That's served in front, and that one a diving save by Karki. Keeps it 2-0, and finally the East get a pause here to regroup, and they'll just toss it out through center. Big play there by Karki as he had gone down and was able to still find the puck on the second try from the West.
Do the coaching staffs get timeouts? Because Mike Hamilton might be thinking about taking one right now if he does, because this East team has been under siege since that first goal from the West, and it's been a complete flip of the script based off what we saw from East early, and the momentum swings back into the hands of West right now. Who knows what will happen next?
Here along the far side, that one's kept in by Team East, looking to change course. Big check along the wall is going to earn a penalty. And it will be Team East heading to the power play first on the evening. And that one comes with 4:36 left in the first period. We were getting a cross check here.
Well, that was my guy Juraday, again factoring into play. And he likes to join, at least based off what I've seen of him into the rush. But I don't think that was a vicious check there from the defenseman Fiedler. I think a little spin from Juraday to protect the puck, and Fiedler wasn't quite sure. And you could tell he kind of held up, and then he hit him, and he just knew he went, oh, that's probably going to be a penalty. And lo and behold, it is. And now a power play, which I didn't see them working on it this morning. I didn't see him work on it yesterday. So this could be really fun to watch, because it's going to be all creativity and all free-flowing hockey, no structure.
Right off the draw, it's the East with possession. And they'll float this one down into the corner. There it's held by one of the Jacksons. Flip back up, that was Ty up to the point, and that's sent across for Matthias Michelli. He'll circle that one through, and it's intercepted by the man at the slot, and that's Meyer sending it down the ice. And a regroup coming for Team East.
Of course, the other side of the coin, too, could be the free-flowing hockey. Might mean without structure, we don't see any really connections, because one guy's going to zig, the other guy's going to zag here, but we'll see.
Onto the far side wall, that's barreled in, shot from a sharp angle, found the front of the net, but was poked away. And circling back with it is Freen, now drops it for Michelli, and that's intercepted. And out comes Jones for Team West, and he's interested in carrying this one right down, looking for a lane, throws one on. And maybe part of that free flow also includes some short-handed play there, Ben.
Yeah, there's no question. Zach Jones, a guy that I didn't get to in the open, but I've seen him quite a bit, as you have in Tri-City. He plays such a fun style of hockey. He's a total north-south player in terms of he loves to join the rush. He's leading all rookies in scoring defensively right now, and He's a guy that plays with an edge, too. You won't see it probably in this game, but I would not like to play against him. But a guy like that on your team who loves to stir it up a little bit and get in your face, not cheaply, not dirty, but something to try to get players off of their game when you're playing against them, it's very healthy to have on your team.
And after the East tried to keep that one in, the West will sweep it out. Shane Pinto alongside Malone. Got it in over the line. Malone will continue to harass. And the rest of Team West floats back to neutral ice. Pinto was looking for the top of the slot. Now races over. Getting his stick back there was Malone. He takes the puck away. Got tripped up there a bit. And play will continue. And on the far side, that's wrapped back around. And lugged out by Frisch. Frisch now over the blue line. Lost his footing. And allows West to take the puck, but they fan on it. And now back in the corner again, it's East looking to set something up here. Around the near side, it'll roll. As that one's pulled into the corner by Mastro Simone. He's got Janicki as well as Silanov. Now back to the point, they'll float it, and that's held there by the man at the top of the near circle. Mastro Simone got it poked free. Now back to the top. Again, that shot from the slot knocked away. That one definitely felt in the leg there, Mastro Simone.
Yeah, that one hurt.
Here's Shane Pinto shorthanded. He's stripped to the puck, but he left it there for a teammate to try. Is stopped with the blocker there of Karki, and that'll do it for the power play for Team East. So a little bit of both ends getting a little action there, but a couple of shorthanded tries for West help them kill off what was a quick penalty. Now on the far side, a shot is blocked yet again as Team West is getting down and in the way. Here's another try through traffic in front, knocked down in the slot and cleared to the point but not out. Turned again toward the net and scooped up by Seville. He's looking like, as we talked about earlier, like he hasn't missed a beat here, changing teams for a game.
Now, and it's normally going to take a rebound, a tip, taking away his eyes, beating Isaiah Seville one-on-one, mano-a-mano, not easy to do, and I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Igor Afanasyev with that aforementioned blast that he has. It's hard to beat him on the first shot.
Here's Fiedler on the near point, trying one on, and that one's tipped wide, and that'll wrap back around to the far board, scooped up by Romano, and he'll turn it away as he and Paquette race down the ice into the far corner. That's tangled for on the wall, knocked around, pinballed up, and East will come back out with it. As they'll scoot ahead through the middle, on toward the far wing, back in over the side. Now some space, falling as he took the shot. That one goes wide, and that came off the stick of Linden Green. Now over to the far point, where wide open is Ethan Frisch. He'll try one on, and that one from the far circle is eaten by Seville. So with 1:40 left here in the first, 2-0, West has the lead. Those goals coming from Ethan Phillips and Jack Malone. And right now, Ben, East trying to get something going here late in the period.
Well, and they got a little going there. Linden Green, who we haven't talked about yet, immense pace, really good skater, makes it look easy, and a really nice connection, a couple of give-and-go plays between him and I believe it was Nodler on the right wing. And you get defensemen shimmying back and forth. Who's going to enter the zone with it? It was a great look back to the middle and an awesome opportunity for Breen, but he lost his footing, couldn't get a lot of power on that shot.
Janicki tried one that was blocked, and that'll be thrown back in by Team West toward the far side, where Yami Cornilla will scoop the puck. Tipped back to the point, now held on the far side, swept over to Jones on the near side, and the catch will continue along the blue line. Here's a shot over to the near wing, where it's tapped around after the save was made by Karki. Picked up on the far boards, trying to break out here is East, but they're heavily pressured here as Meyer comes away with the puck on the left side, feeds it to the near wing, but unable to tee up the one-timer was Cornilla. Good pressure from East here as they try to work this one outside and out of their zone, and they do just that with 1 minute to go in the first. Over the far side comes first off. He runs into the linesman, but keeps the puck. And now off a diving poke check effort there from Meyer. That one's pushed back out to center once more. Swatting at it and pushing it ahead with the hands there was Jones. He'll head off for a change as East and West meet on the far bench from our vantage point. Now that puck goes into the corner. Big check there. Frees it for the West. That one's dropped back down low. Underneath the goal line, that's scooted around to the far corner. Tie up there with 30 seconds to go. We'll slow things down for a moment. Plucked free. That one's turned toward the near wing yet again. Swept back down low. On the boards, it's Lee. Looking to work it out toward the side of the net, and that one finally covered up by Karki.
That's a quintessential power forward move there. Andre Lee, I'm not going to make it too over the top. I'm not going to make it too flashy. Just tried to lower his shoulder and bulldoze his way in front. Give the defense some credit there. Again, though, it was Francis once again. Those two have had a little mojo going in terms of some battles in the corners. Again, the big bodies, we talked about them. Fun to see a little bit of vim and vigor for Andre Lee. He's throwing his body around, and good on Francis for returning the favor a couple times as well.
Off the draw, East will control and send one up the far wing. Seat him onto the near side and then flipping it across. That was from Francis, I believe. Now back down underneath the goal line. It'll be the West floating it back off the glass and down. Not far enough for icing, according to the officials, and it doesn't matter as the period comes to a close. So at the end of one, it is 2-0 West, and we talked about it, Ben, here before we jump into intermission. East came out swinging, and guess who was in the way? Isaiah Seville. Again, I call him the anchor from Anchorage, and living up to his status and what he's built in the last couple of seasons, especially this year in the USHL, in which he's just absolutely taken over the goalie scene.
Well, the chain attached to the anchor, Seville, was pulled pretty tight there at the beginning of that period because we talked about it. East kind of figured it out a little bit earlier perhaps than West did. They were connecting through neutral. They were capitalizing, at least scoring chance-wise, creation from the turnovers that West had early as they were kind of feeling themselves out. And then all of a sudden, just like that, we flipped the switch, and East was pinned back in their own zone for a good portion of that second half of the period. Really a tale of two cities in that first, and now that both coaching staffs have had a chance to see what this game's going to feel like, not that I think there's going to be any really high-end bench bossing going on in terms of how you're going to try to change your X's and O's up, but there certainly will be some time here in between periods for the coaches to evaluate a little bit, and it'll be curious to see who comes out and throws the first knockout punch in the beginning of the second period.
Official scoring in the period at 12:40. The first goal scored by Ethan Phillips on an assist from Brady Meyer to put West up 1-0. And then again at 14:10, Jack Malone from Matt Brown. We'll see if secondaries get added on later, but at the moment, that's all you have for points, and it's 2-0 West. At the end of 1, 0 for 1 was East on the power play, and shots pretty even. 11-10 in favor of the West. Karki stopping 9, Seville stopping all 10. So as we head off here to intermission, Ben, one final thought here as to what you feel the biggest adjustment is needed for both sides.
I don't even know if it's adjustments. I think just time is going to do both of these teams well, and the fact that now they all have 20 minutes under their belt, I'm sure all the players have made some mental notes saying, I saw Kelly and Keeley do this a little bit, so his centerman Caden Bolson might have a little bit more of an idea of where his left winger is going to be coming into the second period. Can't imagine you'll see any line jumbling from the coaches because they just want these guys to get comfortable together. So I think it's not necessarily adjustments, but I think we'll see a little bit more collected hockey in the second just based off the fact that now you got 20 minutes behind you and a little more familiarity with the guys that are on your wings and your partners.
20 minutes down, 40 to go at the minimum. We'll see if there's further time after that, but in the meantime, we'll take a break. You'll hear in that break from the East coaching staff, who was able to sit down with Ben here just earlier. It was yesterday. It was Mike Hamilton, Oliver David, and Greg Moore. On the other side, we'll rejoin you and bring you the second period of play. Stay tuned.
It was played off the glass, and working up the zone is Kyle Jeffers. It's a one-on-one. Jeffers to the back end. Takes a shot. He scores! What a goal by Kyle Jeffers! And the Titans lead 3-1. A sensational goal. Jeffers makes a pair of toe drags, and he roofs the backhander over Tamayo's glove.
Like Enns did, though. Attack a D, don't sit back, don't just make moves with your feet. Gliding along the ice. Enns had his feet moving, forced Gaudette to take a penalty or Enns would beat him, and here's a shot off the hop. They score! And Fletcher stepped into it, put it blocker's side. Kahana could see it. Quick face-off win and a power play goal for Kinder.
To Wood, kind of a slow pass though, almost intercepted. Bounced off the boards. Now Johnny Foley in. Pass over, shot and scores! Chris Murphy finishes it off. What a feed from Johnny Foley. 10-14 to go here in the first. The Timberwolves have tied the game at 1. Murphy, that's his 3rd goal of the season.
Probably very much so, but in terms of team play and using each other with this club, what do you expect?
You know, these things are difficult. Again, I would also say I think that comment was pretty insightful, to just focus on winning, which will, you know, kind of keep you on task and distract you from individual stuff. These things are difficult to accomplish something like that. I think ultimately, if as long as we have guys that are willing to play along those lines and understand that NHL scouts are looking for guys that have some ability to make plays and read the game and manage the game, which could even be something like changing at the right time or just showing some ability or demonstrating that you have an idea of how to play the game is also very important to go with your individual skill set. So I think Coach said it best. If we can get the focus on winning and playing a team game in the short time we've been here, that would be fantastic.
Mike, at your time at Muskegon last year as an assistant, now as a head this year, you've seen a lot, if not all, these players before. You know the Eastern Conference well. What are you expecting in terms of pace, skill, and what if you had to put a one-night identity on the Eastern Conference team tomorrow? And I know that's hard to do. What would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a ton of skill, which obviously both teams do. But like I said, I look at these guys, and I think we'll be able to be a puck possession team. We've been joking around the room this morning about we have 2 lines that we're figuring out who's going to actually come in the D zone and play defense, right? So I see a lot of offense coming from our side, but I do see, like I said, us giving up some great A's just because we are a very offensive group. But we should be able to put some pucks in the back of the net, hopefully, and make this a good hockey game.
Greg, in the few opportunities that you've had to be around this team when they've all been together, have you seen a little bit of meshing? Have you seen any heads butting together, perhaps, with some players that maybe have some vendettas against some other players that they've seen earlier in the season? What has kind of the culture been like in this very short time?
From my observations, I think, especially at this point in their careers in hockey, like they all played with or against each other at some point. A lot of guys who know each other coming together, catching up. More or less like old friends and good relationships just coming together and spending some time together, which is good and healthy, and hopefully now they get to have some fun on the ice together and build that rapport as well.
It'll be the first time for this team really getting on the ice together officially, with the exception of some skills and some testing this morning. But, you know, Oliver, what do you got planned for practice here this afternoon? A lot of X's and O's, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, a lot of up and down, no X's and O's. We're really just trying to get a sweat. We're all chipping in with a few drills here, and hopefully get them excited about the game and get the nerves out. I think the biggest thing is to make sure they don't see the ice for the first time when the puck drops for a game, and they'll see it 3 times actually when you include the testing. So get them familiar with each other and move away from the nerves, and hopefully they're having fun and getting off the ice with a smile on their face today.
Mike, definitely, obviously, as we kind of alluded to, a huge opportunity for these kids. But, you know, in your opinion, what are the scouts looking for? What are the things that the scouts are going to mark down on their clipboards if they see your young men do tomorrow?
Well, that's as we were just saying. It's not just about making that one flashy play. They're all looking for guys who are going to back check. They're looking for guys who play a smart, disciplined game. Guys that are going to eat some pucks every once in a while. And they're looking for complete players today in today's game. So of course, all of these guys have skill and they want to go out and show what they can do. But generally, and on any team, when you try to do it individually, you're less successful. So we're going to be pounding it home to these guys to have line rushes and not one-on-one rushes and getting the D involved and keeping our shift short. So that'll be a challenge in itself from our side, but that's going to be our focus in keeping it as game-like as possible.
Transitioning back to the league as a whole, which I know as coaching staffs, I'm sure you're here doing this, but you're also consistently making more and more progress towards when you get back and it starts for real again as soon as this weekend. But, Greg, you're a guy coming out of the developmental program in Plymouth. You know this league. You're now coaching with Chicago. What have you seen from this league this year, maybe compared a little bit to last year and what you saw in the USHL from a year prior?
This is now my fourth year of seeing the USHL. I'm actually pretty impressed with the depth of the league in terms of rosters. I think there's a lot more skill in the league than there was 3-4 years ago. I also think there's more depth in how many competitive teams we have within the league. Each conference is really tight. It's really competitive. Any team can beat any team on any night. So it's been fun. And you pre-scout and you watch other teams, and the skill level has increased quite a bit. I think the style of play has been a lot more puck possession and skilled in terms of giving the kids the tools they need to play at the next level. So it's been fun to watch that develop within the league in the last 4 years.
Oliver, I'd like to pose the same question to you. Hopefully, Greg didn't take all of your answers from you, but your thoughts, this being your second year being a head coach in this league, what you've seen from the prior year to this year in terms of any changes or comparisons.
Yeah, the big word is parity, especially in the Eastern Conference, for all the reasons Greg stole from me since you went with him first. That's it. It's parity. The depth is unbelievable. I've been in Dubuque 5 of the last 6 seasons. The one season I was not in Dubuque, I was in a different league, in and around Canada, and that is what sticks out even in comparing other leagues around the world, is the unbelievable competitiveness and parity throughout everybody's lineup. And that's our job, to figure out how that is or get the edge, kind of like the NHL or anybody that has a draft, a worldwide draft, which is really only us and them, I guess. But it's difficult to get a leg up, like Coach Hamilton here, who seems to have a couple legs up on all of us. That's the main thing for me. They both covered it all.
You mentioned those Muskegon Lumberjacks, who I'm sure to both you, Greg, and Oliver have been quite pesky this season. But unless you have anything to add, Coach Hamilton, on what I'm sure Greg and Oliver did a pretty good job of covering in terms of the USHL, feel free to begin the answer to this question with that answer. But your team right now in Muskegon, you guys are pacing the league. You're atop the USHL. I know you got coaches here listening, but nonetheless, what has been the core of this team that has been so successful so far?
Yeah, obviously we got off and had a good first half. We got a great group of guys that work hard. We're no different than any other team out there. We just got off, like I said, our goalie was hot early, and we were able to put more pucks in the back of the net than most others. But we were lucky to get a couple guys at the last minute that we didn't expect to be in our lineup, and early on they've proved to be a difference for us. But as things keep going here, every game's tighter and tighter, and the teams that we played a month and a half ago are now pushing us and putting us in overtime and things like that. So we know the gap is closed, and our guys continue to work hard, and we're just going to keep focused and trying to be better each day, just like everyone else here.
Greg, a Chicago team that certainly is right at the heels in that top 3, top 4 spot in the East right now, and you guys have been playing some good hockey as of late. What have you liked about the way your team identity has been forming as we cross the midway point here this season?
I've been really impressed with the group of people in the room in terms of creating a brotherhood and coming close together. They all want to fight for each other each night. They're all trying to pull the rope in the same direction. When everybody's on and everyone's giving their best, I think we can play an effective hockey game but we need everybody. And I just like that the mindset everybody has coming to the rink every day to get better and take responsibility for development. And there's been a really fun group of people to work with.
Oliver, you look like you're thinking about what you're going to say over there as I come to you with one of our final questions.
Really tough going third here, Ben. I'm just staring at the wall trying to keep something committed to memory.
What do you got for me about your Saints, who are in the top half right now and trying to climb back towards those Jacks?
Well, we're appropriately named the Fighting Saints. I think we're fighting and we're clawing. I sincerely love our guys and have enjoyed them immensely this first half. Like Coach Moore, I believe we have a healthy locker room. I believe we got a group of guys that are willing to develop, or in other words, are coachable and want to get better, and that breeds hopefully excellence. But it definitely makes for a nice day most days to go to the rink, which unfortunately is probably unique in some cases. So it's good that. It's good to work in that kind of healthy environment, and it's good for the kids to be around. And like I said, we're going to keep fighting, and we're going to do our best to keep climbing and not go away during that fight.
Well, welcome back here to the Icebox in Lincoln. And it's awful icy, Tim, here. Yeah, it's cold in this rink, which means the ice has got to be great. Ben Gislison here, joined by Tim Mulhop, voice of the Lincoln Stars, myself being voice of the Des Moines Buccaneers. We'll be changing parts here for this period. Tim will be hopping over doing color. I'll be on the play-by-play, so thanks for letting me get a period here, Timmy. I appreciate it. But certainly a first period that was entertaining. You saw 2 goals go home for Team West. Ethan Phillips and Jack Malone on the board, and Isaiah Seville dazzled in goal for Team West. And sooner than later here we'll get to see Ben Cross enter into the game, the Sioux City Musketeers backstopper, as Team West coming back onto the ice here inside the Icebox. Team East will be joining us here in just a few moments. And now switching ends here for the second period will be interesting. I always like to talk about it on the broadcasts because it's a factor, and especially in a game where you might not have players hustling back quite as hard to get off the ice, might be a little even more wide open than we saw in that first period.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what we said, and that, again, there's a little more chemistry there. I know it's an impossible situation to have perfect execution right off the bat in a situation where it's just such a quick turnaround. You get one real practice together in a morning skate. But I think some of the big things here for East, I would guess, and I know we discussed just getting those 20 minutes underneath your legs here, heading into the second, is just kind of get back to what they did in that first half of that first period, just kind of flowing down the ice. And granted, West definitely shored up a bit of their play, as you mentioned a lot, in that neutral zone where the battles were starting to turn a little bit against West. They kind of flipped the script a bit and moved back in the eastern end. But quick goal here. I mean, this is not rocket science from my part, of course, but just a quick goal here could get things going real fast for the East. It's not like they haven't had their quality chances. That's, again, as you mentioned, Isaiah Seville has been, I think, for that first period, probably the star of the show. And, you know, again, that's relevant here inside the Lincoln Stars building. He's been that way many times before.
As has he in Buccaneer Arena as well. As we're getting set to jet here for the second period, live from Lincoln. 2019 USHL NHL Top Prospects game anchors away here for period 2. It will be Ryan Seedham collecting it just shy of his own left circle. He'll go back for his partner Chris Juriday behind the net. Juriday back to Seedham, left-hand corner. He'll go on an arrow forward. Mastro Simone will tip it down behind. To pick it up is Proctor for Team West. He'll wedge it up the left wing wall. Puck loose back into the hands of East, trying to connect that puck to the point for Ryan Seedham, but it's spiraled out to center by Brown. Juriday on the left wing wall. He'll feather it down behind. Seville out to play it on his forehand up the strong side. And a between the legs pass from Malone, intervened by Mastro Simone at the left point. Good shoulder thrown by Malone, and that one might have stung Mastro Simone. Back the other way comes Team West. It's Brown, left circle, trying to lift one in where Proctor was jumping in. Could have been a Buccaneer to Buccaneer connection there, but instead it's Team East out the other way. Mastro Simone has trouble. Swankler on goal from the left circle. That's turned aside by Karki. Francis all the way across. Mastro Simone down the left flank. He'll lobby it down behind. Seville out to play it. Not afraid to jump out of the blue paint to serve as a third defenseman, if you will. And now down the right wing wall, an intercept by Feenstra. He'll turn it over back at center. It's Proctor. He'll go D to D, chipped forward and dumped in by Team West. Back to get it is Feenstra. He'll reverse it to the near side of the ice. Now in the left-hand corner of the O-zone is Swankler, but that pass goes between the legs of Fiedler at center, and now it's back to Proctor. He's got a man on him in Derkulik for Team East. Scurrying up the right wing wall and sifted down by Proctor. Karki will touch it along behind. Hunter Skinner, excellent breakout pass to Nodler, all the way to the weak side of the ice for Derkulik, who will blast down the left wing wall. He's taken off the puck smartly and elegantly by Zach Jones. And that one's going to make its way down for icing off the stick of Zach Jones, and so we'll go back down into the zone of Isaiah Seville. 18-13 to go here in the second.
Just a note there of the toughness of Robert Mastrosimone. I mean, he's a guy, Chicago Steel, who has quite a few points, 22 entering the contest on through the first half of the season effectively. He's taken a big block shot earlier, took a hit there just on that last shift, and yet he's grinding it out, getting to some dirty areas, still trying to get the puck home.
45 points as a 16-year-old last year for Mastrosimone. Insane numbers for a young kid in a much older league, and having a nice year this year for the Steel as well. As now out at center, taken back by Team East. Now here comes Afanasiev. Between the legs, he'll spin in front, and that pinball's off a skate back into the hands of Team East. Is now furrowing to the point is Blumel. He'll shoot through traffic, saved by Seville, and that skirts away from the danger area. As now down behind, it's Brady Meyer. Along for Luke Johnson to the right wing wall, and now it will be lifted out to center by Ethan Phillips. Around the puck goes Girardet, but he turns it over to center. Is now prancing in as Johnson, but the puck got a little on end there and swerved away, and so it's back into the hands of the USHL leading scorer, Matej Blumel.
Yeah, a little bit of bad luck there for Johnson as he came in. Here's West trying to capitalize.
It's Brady Meyer, who's playing with some confidence here after picking up an assist on the game's first goal. There's the game's first goal, and Phillips, Meyer's in front, he scores. It's Brady Meyer on a great feed from Phillips, so the tandem connects again, and West has a 3-0 lead.
Well, there you saw it. Quick turnaround, jump into the zone. Nice little centering effort there. Brady Meyer able to get in front and showing off not just a big body, he's got a little finesse, a little bit of skill as well, of course. That's what earned you a spot in this game, but nice little finish there to beat Karki. And yeah, 3-0 West here. Putting on that gas pedal again here, starting from that second half of the first into the first half of the second.
Yeah, Phillips a very good look vertically down from the right circle, and Brady Meyer walking right to the net front and a good move to his forehand. Did not allow Karki to react. A nice goal for Meyer, second point of the game for the University of Minnesota Duluth commit. And it's a triple now for the Western Conference as Will Francis has it back behind his own net. He'll go D to D. Frisch holds up. He'll go back to Francis on the bench side. Francis forward now. We're steering into the right-hand corner. Dylan Jackson. He'll find brother Ty behind. And Ty will go to the left wing wall. Here's Matthias Michelli. A trio of fighting Saints on a line here tonight. Michelli can't hold that puck at the top of the left circle, but he gets a bounce back. Michelli, left circle. Worked back to the right point. Team West will get it back. Grooved over by Ryan Johnson to Kirby Proctor. Plays it off the left wing wall and streamlines one forward for Caden Bolson. And the former teammates connect, but Bolson puts it down for icing, and so we have a pause and a break in the action.
It's a curious effort here, not curious effort, but curious to see what comes of this for Team East. I mean, obviously this is effectively an all-star scenario setting type of showcase environment. You're obviously trying to play to showcase your ability, but their ability to kind of respond as a team here is really, I think, what will decide whether or not they can claw their way back here. And it helps the West, of course, again, with the play of Isaiah Seville so far.
Off the face-off to the left of Seville's vantage point. Janicki wins it back. Skinner to his partner Feenstra. Forward to Janicki, but stripped at center and lifted down by Andre Lee. Matt Brown is in after it. He's trying to saunter away from Skinner, who's adding some duress on the D side of things. And then Malone plasters Feenstra after he made the pass. As back in comes West in the high slot. Brown holds. Here's Pinto. He's knocked off the puck. Brown gets it back left wall. He'll veer it down where Malone's got it behind the net on the backhand. In front to Brown, but he was on his backhand, couldn't connect. And now it will skim out to center where Cedric Fiedler will recollect with time. Malone tried to lob one in for the centerman Pinto. Instead it's back. Nifty move from Proctor at the red line. He'll glance it up off the glass in deep behind. Karki touches for Skinner. Skinner up the right wall, intercepted. Malone trying to center for Brown, who was lurking in the slot, but it's intercepted by Janicki. Skinner back for Feenstra. pretty much a full zone to work with as West is in the midst of a change here with 15:20 to go and a 3-0 second. But now coming in with speed, Grant Silanoff down the left wall. Silanoff drops for Mastro Simone, a sharp angle shot. The puck was in the air. I'm not sure Seville knew where it was, but it spirals away. Now to the left point. Jurade behind for Silanoff. Too much gas on that pass, and now a nice breakout. We'll have Team West with numbers the other way. It's the hometown kid. Pinto dropping it back. Good give and go. Jones, right circle, Malone. Backside to Swankler, and I don't know how that didn't go home. That was a picturesque setup on the rush that just failed at the last moment.
Yeah, it's again, I think a puck. Oh.
As walking in is Breen, he scores. Linden Green with a wrister from the right circle under the blocker. They finally solved the enigma of Isaiah Seville, and East has an answer.
Yeah, Breen walked right down there. We talked about his skating ability, his ability to hop in and just make a play, and took me off guard there. He went right down to top shelf, and we talked about it. To beat Isaiah Seville, you got to get pretty much perfect shot, and he does just that right there, and a big answer there. Obviously, you're going to have a goalie switch at some point just because of this format of this game, but before you get in there, it helps to have a little momentum going for you, and there you go. You get one on Seville, and we'll see where it goes here for the legs of both sides.
So the future Maine Black Bear on the board for Team East, and so it's 3-1. But West is right back on the offense. A shot that's deflected from Swankler, who just missed what would have been a gorgeous goal moments ago before the East tally. He's got it back behind the net. Francis dislodges him from the puck, and now it's Ryan Derkulik. Levied forward where the goal scorer Breen winds in. Derkulik gets it back, but it skips off a skate back to center. And now here comes Tyler Paquette. Penn State commit. Blows a tire, drops for the one-timer to Proctor, and Karki got enough of it to hold on. It was an unsure save from Karki, but he's got it for a whistle with 14:03 to go here in a 3-1 game, second period.
Well, I think just the turn of events there was obviously something that was just a complete 180 because you mentioned it. Swankler right there on the near side, looked like he had it. Honestly, I was shocked it went by, back behind the net. Looked like it might have caught it on an edge, and maybe just, as he was letting it go, rolled a little bit on him. But either way, quite the response for East. West trying to get it right back.
Blumel and Meyer on the face-off. A quick win over to Cornilla, who just tethered it wide in the slot. And now Blumel will go after player in the corner and John Prokop. Cornilla gets it on the far wall. Marches his way to the point. Nice look down for Phillips. It was in his skates. Afanasiev has it back. He'll swing it up the left wall. Gets past everybody out to center. Back forward is Prokop. Swiveled over. His partner Fiedler. On the lead forward for Meyer. Stripped for Cornilla. He can move to his backhand and forehand. It's loose after a nice defensive play and a second swing. Denied emphatically in front by Karki. Perhaps his best save of the night so far for the Muskegon Lumberjack.
Oh, impressed by the forecheck and the follow-up there. As you saw Cornilla's speed, you mentioned it, gets behind the D as it looked like they had him out wide and then just cuts it back to the middle. And I believe it was Meyer who got the backhander away. Who's impressed me tonight with his net front presence. I mean, obviously, you've seen some of that firsthand with him playing in Des Moines, but at the end of the day, Keegan Karki seems to have kind of found a little bit more of his rhythm. A little after giving up a couple goals, comes back and has a couple of quick answers on a couple of big saves.
Jurade with a nice cutaway in the near-hand corner. Finds Afanasiev across the offensive line with Firstov. But now it's grabbed back. Caden Bolson sashaying down the left wing wall. It goes up off the glass. Seedham gets it back but turns it over to Bolson. Callie and Keeley took a spill through the middle. He'll center in front for Lee, but they could not connect. Pair of Scandinavians there, and Lee from Sweden and Callie and Keeley from Finland, and the Finlander deflects that puck through the air out of play for a whistle at 13:01.
Well, you see another souvenir for a fan over there, and at the ice box, that's pretty common. I know you and I were joking about it before the game. They tend to get up in the press box every once in a while, and I know that's not uncommon for a hockey rink, but a good night here for the ice box. And again, talking about exposure for this team, which has obviously been a long-standing team and a long-standing rink, but always nice to get the opportunity to, again, showcase some of the features that are pretty unique amongst all hockey rinks here in Lincoln.
No doubt, as Seville plays a long bomb down behind the net to Zach Jones. He'll clamber it up the right wing wall. Nice diagonal look to Brown, who will take it south before heading north here at neutral. Nice feathered pass onto the backhand. Trying to connect through center was Malone. He'll get it back, but turns it over. Ty Jackson taken off the puck by Malone. He's got a man in front, and Brown is alone. Nice defensive play by Ethan Frisch to steer that puck away from harm. Back comes Team East with Dylan Jackson. His pass is too far for fellow Dubuque forward and Matthias Michelli, one of the top scorers in the league right now. As Now behind the net, it's Kirby Proctor on the backhand. Connects with Malone just shy of his own blue line. Sifting out to center where Feenstra has it back. He'll carve it back to Michelli. He can prance. Good move across now to Skinner. Nice play to get it inside the slot. Almost turned back over by Proctor to Skinner, but the West survive. But the East still have the puck here in the O-zone. Taken back by Team West. As now a chip on the forehand by Malone to center. Nicely connected to Brown. He'll dart in. Brown to his backhand. Too much elevation on that over the top of the net. Back from Silanov to Skinner. Smooth skating blue liner out of Brighton, Michigan, but had his wires crossed on the look forward there. Goes down for icing, and so we'll come back down into Keegan Karki's zone.
Yeah, I think all three coaches, you know, for Des Moines, for Lincoln, for Youngstown, want to take that line home with them tonight. They've had some good opportunities. They've had some good space there. Matt Brown coming in fast, and it was a bit high. It was a long shift, but again, I would wager a guess that they're not done on the score sheet tonight.
Yeah, it was funny you mentioned that in that interview we had in between periods. We didn't get to the end where I was asking what players coaches are excited about coaching in this that aren't their own, and Mike Hamilton made a similar comment to what you said, taking a player home with him. He wants to bring home Robert Mastrosimone is what he said. So certainly a lot of fun and some bantering going on between the coaching staffs. As now it's Tyler Paquette drafting in. He couldn't get around. Staunch defensive Feenstra, but now look at the speed from Silanov through center. Nice outlet, left circle to Mastrosimone on the backhand. In front for a one-timer and a 10-bell save from Seville on the pad. Oh boy, what a stop from Seville. He has been cagey in net tonight. There's a nifty move from, I believe that was Swankler, goes awry at center, and now the Sioux Falls Stampede forward has it back at center. He'll angle it up off the wall. It's taken back by Chris Giroday, Green Bay Gambler. Left circle across to the Central Illinois Flying Ace and Ryan Seedham. Seedham cruising to center, but a deflected puck goes into the benches, and so a little bit of disjointed play here after those goals, and lots of stoppages, icings, pucks being deflected out of play. We got a media timeout on the ice, so a chance for you, really. I wanted to ask you this on the air. You know, the build-up to this game, and you've been the foot soldier. You've had boots on the ground here now, for the past several months preparing for this. Fill in the fans on what this experience was like, and I'm sure a lot of hard work that brought this to fruition here tonight.
Yeah, and it's a process that starts, I think, right after the host rink is mentioned, or decided upon, rather. And, that was before my time here, but just joining it midstream is pretty impressive to see the amount of logistics that are organized to get these players from point A to point B, to get the hotel blocks for not only the players, but also these number of NHL representatives that are in the building, the league representatives, the board members, the GMs. It's really a credit to, again, the staff of the Lincoln Stars and their ability to kind of coordinate on this end of things. And then, of course, the USHL has done a tremendous job. They've done this setup time and time again. They know what formula works. They, talk about boots on the ground. They'll make the trip all the way out down here to Nebraska and ultimately, be on the ground here from time to time and ultimately getting their hands on things beforehand so we can get a full comprehension and really a total team effort. As I believe now, Ben, we're seeing another team effort in place as the goalies have swapped out, and we're seeing a couple of new netminders out on the ice.
Indeed, Ben Cross in for Team West of Sioux City, and a Western Conference goalie in Logan Stein, but he on the international trade deadline went over to Team East. He's in goal for the White Sweaters as he'll see his first rubber of the night put on by Phillips and steered away. Now Phillips is pinned up in the left-hand corner, taken back by Linden Green. He crafts one out for DeKulik at center. Now DeKulik marshalling in. Furrows to the right-hand corner. Now wrapping. Near side pass there for Breen. Nice stop by Ben Cross right on the doorstep. A nice back pass from behind the net. As now it's Breen at the point. He'll swing it over for Feenstra left circle. His shot is blocked. That will bounce back out to center. 9:56 to go here. Our second frame.
A good look there for both goalies right off the bat. Using some size there to make some impressive saves pretty quickly. Logan Stein a little bit smaller than the 6'4" Ben Cross, but both players getting tested right off the draw, which is, I think, good after coming in cold. Again, understanding you're coming in cold, but still coming in cold nonetheless.
Now here's Hunter Skinner on the right wing wall. Tries to veer it into the center of the high slot, but it's intercepted by Pinto. The Lincoln Star will connect with the Fargo Force centerman and Caden Bolson, newly acquired. And is now streaming to center. It's Blumel down the right wall. Blumel centers in front. He had first off driving the net. They've probably done that a couple of times this season in Waterloo, but they don't link up there. Seedham back at center. He tried to lobby it forward for a winger on the blue line, but instead it's Andre Lee now. He'll bowl his way down behind. Lee holds up, but couldn't count on his skates there. He goes down. Jurade up the right wing wall. Now here's first up. Boy, has he flashed onto the scene as a rookie this year for Waterloo. He'll drop it off for Ty Jackson. Late arriver at Sedum. In front, he wires it wide. Now in the right circle. Cycled back down for first off. Jones brings him to the ice with some authority. Ty Jackson's in there, but so is Shane Pinto. And Shane Pinto will step away with it. Right-hand wall. East muscles the puck loose, but now look out. Here comes Matt Brown, never afraid to take on a defenseman, and still with it is Brown to his forehand. The patience around the net, he centers it in front, but the only one there was Igor Afanasyev. However, Brown did draw a penalty in the process, and so Team West will go to the power play.
And you saw there, again, the mic'd up combo of Matt Brown wearing the mic, and saw him floating around with Shane Pinto in those practices. That tandem nearly pulling it off there as Pinto crashed to the back post. If he's a little closer to the center, Matt Brown finds him alone in front. Probably more than likely Shane Pinto, after seeing him do it time and again, probably buries it, but a great effort there from Matt to draw the penalty and create this opportunity on the power play, their first of the day for Team West.
Pinto and Brown, one of a handful of players in this game that were gold medalists up at the World Junior A Challenge, playing for Team USA. And speaking with Matt a little bit prior to this, Pinto's one of the guys that he connected with early on that team, so they're pretty good buddies, and there's a lot of that to go around on this team, even though they don't wear the same USHL colors. They're friends, especially here tonight. That's Ty Jackson. We'll go back on the kill here for Francis. First power play of the game for Team West. Team East had a pretty discombobulated look on the power play to begin the game. But here's a good pass to Brown, left circle, backside for a tip off the crossbar. That was Proctor in front. Oh, what a connection that was. Artistry between Brown and Proctor, but the crossbar denies the Okotoks Albertan what could have been his first goal of the game. Now it's Johnson up top to Brown, left circle to the goal line on the backhand. Malone in front off Ty Jackson. The rebound put on goal, saved by Stein. That was Pinto lurking in front. Look at the puck movement here as Brown shoots through traffic and Malone deflects it wide. Well, this looks like a unit that is familiar with each other right now, Tim, as Brown's got it on the left circle. He'll go back to the point with it all the way to Proctor. Right circle. Up top, Ryan Johnson. Fakes a shot to his left for Brown. Across to Proctor. And that goes through the legs of Proctor back down behind, though he holds the zone with 59 seconds to go here in the power play. Pinto could not connect with Swankler. He leaves it off, and instead it might be a shorthanded look, but it's been a long shift for Ty Jackson. He'll leave it off and go for a change. 7:04 to go here in the second. It is 3-1. As now it's Swankler grooving down the right wall, and going right into the net was Anthony Romano. He drives the net off, and that will bring us to a stoppage.
Yeah, a bit of a missed opportunity there to keep the play going there for Team West. They had Team East out on a long, long shift. Shane Pinto, I believe, sends it back to the point. It looked like there was just a miscommunication there. I think Swankler was looking for a change himself, and in the process, that puck just leaks out. East does a nice job clearing, getting off, getting fresh legs on, and there a little bump on front. And again, I've got to tell you, Logan Stein, I've seen him many times, and a few times, I should say, and he's been impressive, you know, and just there, right there, hanging tough, able to show the movement skill yet again. Takes a little bit of a bump, but he's good to go.
PK O'Hanley has a great problem in Waterloo in terms of who do you play in goal on a given night. Jared Moe has been fabulous there, as well as Logan Stein, so always good when you have healthy competition in net, and there isn't necessarily a bona fide number one starter, and that's what the Blackhawks have this season. Is Stein's been doing some very sterling work for the Hawks this season. A record of 9-2-1-0, 296 goals allowed, and an 888 save percentage, as a bit of a longer delay than I think we first thought here, and they're going to review it. It might be the Proctor tip in front that went off the crossbar, but there is a review underway here, so I'd like to go to our statistician, Kevin Myers, on this. Do we know if there's ever been a review before at one of these games? Kevin says he thinks so.
Okay, well, that's you know
throw the interns on it to track down that stat for us.
They're showing it now, which I believe means the review is concluded, and I believe they've correctly waved that off.
Yeah, that was on the outside of the crossbar. Good to look on it. You know, you want to give Proctor that goal if he could get it, but nonetheless, Kirby Proctor still, I'm sure, displaying some good smarts to get to that area, and these points don't necessarily go anywhere, so the scouts, I'm sure, watch and say he got to the right area, made the right play, just a quarter of an inch, though, and he might have made that a 4-1 game, but nonetheless, we have still power play time left here. On the penalty to Jurade for Team East. West on the power play, it's Fiedler, the Fargo Force defenseman up top for the Sioux Falls Stampede winger and Swankler. He'll shoot. That's saved by Stein. Deflects up to the right point. Fiedler on the backhand, he'll hold. Gills it down, centered in front by Paquette, trying to connect Swankler to Romano. Knocked away, and now flashing to center, it's Michelli. To the right wall, tries to go through the legs, drops it back, shorthanded chance for Afanasiev, blisters it wide. Paquette, his pass is behind Swankler. Sedum intercepted by Romano at center with 4 seconds to go in the power play, and so it seems both teams will come up dry here on their first man advantages of the game. Both teams down 0 for 1. As we're back to 5-on-5, Swankler to Paquette, tried to one-touch it in for Romano, and offsides is whistled down.
Might have been a good thing there for Paquette as he had men closing in on him, was looking for a lane to get rid of it, didn't really have one, and it doesn't hurt too much to have that come out. But yeah, again, just touching on that point with Kirby Proctor, gotta like it. You're talking about earlier in the broadcast, just the overall ability for some of these D to come down, make plays, be the guy that's going to make that play either way. He nearly pays off for him. And again, you said it, situational awareness. You saw it on a power play. You don't get a lot of practice with these guys, and yet he has the boldness to go down, and all that stopped them from scoring there, making this a 4-1 game, was the iron. So good effort there from Proctor, who to me has looked pretty impressive as we have a linesman, I believe, took a little bit of a puck there. Looks to be okay, but might have a bit of a bloody nose. So hopefully that is taken care of quickly, and they are bringing him a towel. But ultimately, just in terms of, again, not necessarily having all that much time to really go over this. West had a couple of good looks there, and ultimately that long shift for that first power play, and it looked pretty encouraging if you're West, at least being able to tire out the killers. You had a little miscommunication, it looked like, there at the back end of it, but either way, something to build off of, and again, impressive for this Western team, the Western staff. I mean, I'm sure they're not going to take too much credit for it. These guys, in talking, speaking candidly with them over the last couple of days, rather, they said, yeah, we've had about all of 10 minutes with these guys, so we're going to let them go out there and let them play. They want to emphasize really the importance of taking this as a serious contest, ultimately, that this game can really dictate a lot, and we'll hear a little bit more of that in the second intermission and the sit down with the Western coaches. But at the end of the day, it seems that it's been good pace throughout. It's been good energy. We've seen some nice hits here and there. We've seen a lot of speed and skill lately, and you know what? Both goaltenders in the first gig showed up. Isaiah Seville stole the show, and so far so good for Logan Stein and Ben Cross. I mean, Cross had a pretty quiet half of this period thus far, but still 6:02 to go in the second.
That was linesman Chad Fuller who took one up off the grill. He might be leaking a bit, but he got toweled off, and he's good to go. Should recognize that the officials, they're here specifically for a reason as well, and congratulations to them being named to the game. J.R. Strager and Brian Hankes are the referees. Chris Delaney and then the aforementioned Chad Fuller are the linesmen. And those refs are tougher than you might think. They take some pucks. I've seen some refs get really much worse than that before. Actually, I believe had a ref break an arm last year in Des Moines. He broke a bone, I know that much. So those guys are tough customers and maybe don't get as much credit as they deserve, especially for their tough travel schedule as well. Those guys are warriors. As now Ryan Sedum has it on the right wing wall. 5:29 to go here in a 3-1 second period. USHL, NHL top prospects game. Plenty of scouts here in attendance tonight in Lincoln. As a good pass from Luke Johnson. Goes to the right wing wall. Jones in. Nicely handled now for a wrist shot from Cronilla that just whisked off the right post. Back out to center, Mastro Simoni. Settling it down. He's got Francis driving the well, but he finds later Ivor in Silanoff, and he blasts it just off a deflection in front and out of play. That later Ivor and Grant Silanoff almost ticketing the top corner and bringing the lead back down to 1.
Yeah, I think Ben Cross got a piece with that blocker, throwing it up there rather than stick elbow, and was able to direct that up and out of play. But that's what helps you at 6'4", 166, a big boy in net, and certainly showing off a nice vision there. Nice vision, I should say, just getting his arm up and stopping what looked like a goal, like you said, earmarked for the scoreboard.
Face off to Cross's left. Skims down behind the net. The left point, it's Francis. He'll open up and walk to his right. Francis' shot deflected up into the air and batted down in the left-hand corner by Nodler. Now it's Breen trying to get that puck out of harm's way in the left-hand corner. He's got it in his skates. He's pinched up against the wall, down low. Back to the left point. Francis couldn't corral it. He'll have to take it back to center for Ethan Frisch. Frisch on the angle forward. Derkulik can't get it past the offensive blue line. Callie and Keeley. Still with it now to the left circle. Callian Keeley a shot. Gets his own rebound off the block from Frisch, but he couldn't pull the trigger. Back out comes Derkulik. Leaves it off for Breen. Breen back down behind Derkulik. He's got Prokop draped all over him. Derkulik goes down, back into the hands of Prokop. D to D for a shove up the left wing wall, and back now into the hands of Caden Bolson. Bolson cruising down the right wall, gets his own chip, but it's taken off his stick by Feenstra. And now it's Firstoff to Skinner, back to Firstoff on the left wall. Firstoff dragging, dancing, firing, and that one just missed the glove hand side of Cross. Up off the glass it goes. Brown helps it to center. Could be numbers ahead here for West. It is. Brown walking in with Pinto with him. Late arriver pass for Malone, and a great back check by Hunter Skinner, or else that might have been 4-1. Now here's Brown again. Backside Pinto, and what a stop from Stein.
There it is, the hometown kid getting robbed, and saw it a couple of times before the last meeting between Stein and Pinto. Last time they met was this past weekend, in which the Stars finally broke through against Stein, who had previously been undefeated. But oh boy, the fans were going to jump for that one if Pinto put it home. Great setup though from Matt Brown.
Breathtaking saves. Now Pinto's in again. He tries to go 5-hole, and Stein shuts the door again. But Pinto's not done. He'll walk and wait and shoot, but it got deflected on the way through. Now Brown centers, walking. Jones a shot. He scores! Zach Jones slips it through the wickets of Stein, and it's 4-1 West.
Yeah, what do we talk about with this line? We didn't think they were done yet. Great puck movement throughout the zone. I think Stein might want that one back as it just leaked by him. But either way, just a long shift in the attack again. A couple of great chances, just narrowly missed, and they just keep buzzing. Ben, that's an impressive shift there. As impressive as I think we've seen all night. And again, I think every coach in the league would take any one of those players, and including the back end as well, able to finish off that chance. Great goal there for Team West.
Now Zach Jones, who has a flair for the offensive side of the game, gets the goal. Make it number 4 on the night for Team West. And Jones coming into this game tonight with 26 games played, 3 goals and 17 assists for 20 points. Jones having himself a very nice first campaign through the USHL here, and he adds an exclamation point to a good second period here by Team West. 2:42 to go. It's 4-1, and Chris Juraday has it back. He'll go D to D for Sedum. Pirouettes away and centers to the Lincoln Star logo at center. Dylan Jackson for Michelli, back for Dylan Jackson on the goal line. Scurrying in, leaves for brother Ty on goal. Not really much of a problem for Kraz, and he'll smother that.
And a good answer there from Team East, and a good deployment. Of course, I'm never going to question Mike Hamilton's coaching decisions. That guy, you can take a look at Muskegon's record if you have any questions. But the Jackson line comes right back. We talked about their speed and chemistry, and they're creating. It wasn't the highest of velocities, but almost snuck it on there a bit. Cross was able to find it, but good response there from East to get the wheels back going in the offensive end.
So Dylan Jackson's got it in the right-hand corner. Now Ty in. He's blasted in the right corner. Scooped back up by Swankler, and that one's lurched forward, but Paquette could not get around Frisch. Francis has it back. And he'll levy it forward now. Cradling in is Michelli to the left wing wall for Jackson, who walks into his forehand, and Cross gobbles that up and holds on.
Well, you just heard a hometown surge there. We'd have to go back and look at the replay. That goal was officially credited to Shane Pinto. Maybe he gets a tip. I don't know about that one. I'm the Lincoln Stars play-by-play, so I might hear about that later, but I don't know. I think you were right in your initial call. I think Jones was the one getting the goal there. We'll have to go back and look at the replay at some point. I think we have it up here that we can access later. But, hey, Jackson Twins come back again. They lead the charge. Again, creating some offensive opportunities here for Team East, trying to claw their way back.
Janicki on the draw. He wins it back for a one-timer. Mastro Simone, a laser from that left circle, but Ben Cross settling in, making some good stops here, especially as East has found a couple of good opportunities, at least over these last 2 minutes.
Yeah, with under 2 minutes to go, East comes right back after that 4th goal scored by the West. Good jump, and that's what I was talking about earlier. That resolve is showing here.
Francis through traffic, a block, a second chance, they score. It's Robert Mastro Simone. He picks up a good hop in front, a friendly bounce, and a nice finish. And the lead is back down to 2. East not going away quite yet.
Yeah, as we talked about, the resolve, the response, it's there. The bounce comes right back to Mastro Simone, who's able to deposit that one right past Cross. Cross all of a sudden, very quiet half of the period for him. Under siege out of nowhere. And again, those Jackson Twins did the fork before on this previous shift. That sets up Mastro Simone's line. They do a great job getting that puck on goal, staying with it, and putting it right home.
So an entertaining twilight session here of the second period as a couple of goals over a span of just a few minutes, one for West and one for East. It's 4-2, and the goal scorer, Mastro Simone, is back on the prowl. He'll go for Francis, back to Mastro Simone. Has his stick whacked away, and now Silanoff holds at the right point. We have a penalty coming up here against Team West. Behind the net, Janicki in front. Alone is Silanoff on goal. That never made it through. It was blocked in front. And West touches up, and so perhaps here a late chance for East to make things even more interesting as we roll towards the third period. 90 seconds to go. It's a slashing call on Prokop, and so the second man advantage of our evening here tonight for Team East.
Yeah, and that's, I think, just a couple of sticks getting caught up high there and like you said, coming back down on a slash. But, yeah, again, East putting it right to them. They're making them chase here. The West trying to get out of this period without making it a one-goal deficit or even worse. Again, East is coming right back down, and I think that last goal kind of woke them up. It was a tough period up until that point. They're rolling right now.
Battle one on the left wall. Back to Skinner. What a gutsy D-to-D pass that was on the backhand, but it bounces off of Feenstra. He's got it back at neutral, and he'll leave it off for Nodler. Skinner in his own zone. 1:16 to go here in the period. 1:43 on the power play, so it might bleed over into the third if we don't see a goal here from East. Now it's Breen on the left wall. He'll go down to the bottom of the left circle for Nodler. Nodler walking up towards the slide. He's got Feenstra up top. Cradled over for Skinner. He'll steer it along, give it a ride on the back wall. Breen, right circle, Nodler. Good dot lane pass around for a shot from Skinner that misses the net. 49 to go here in the period. In front it's Derkulik. He'll take it behind, brings it back for Breen. He'll exchange positions with Nodler. To the right circle, walking is Breen. Nice pass back, right side shot from Nodler. And Kraws there to make the save. And West looking like they're about to get it clear here, but they're going to go on the offense. It's Jones joining 2-on-1 with Pinto. Here's Jones, back to Pinto! Oh, and he had a wide open net, but the puck fluttered on him and he misses the net. Boy, that could have brought this building up a couple of decibel levels.
Shane Pinto recently showing more time on the penalty kill and showing a little comfort level there. Got down the ice. He's seeming to get more and more comfortable with each shift out here in this all-star setting. He's been good tonight and nearly set one up there.
9 seconds to go. One last push forward here is Afanasyev winds. Now he gets a second chance. Afanasyev, where is it? It's behind Kraws. They're battling for it. And we come rolling into the third period as Afanasyev almost had a power play strike to make it 4-3, but we stay 4-2 through 2. Tim, your thoughts?
I have to credit Team East for their finish in that half of the last couple minutes of the period even. Things were in danger of getting away a bit, and then all of a sudden, like we again, not to break the record here or sound like a broken record, but ultimately, East able to get a couple of consecutive shifts in a row where they're active, they're forcing West to chase, and then they finish strong through the period. They'll have a little bit of power play carryover time, but right now momentum is completely on their side. I think right away, even though that goal got by him, again, he might have wanted back. It was ultimately Logan Stein settling down there a bit at the end. You saw the shorthanded chance set up by Pinto across, trying to find his man in Jones running through the middle, and it just missed. And I think that kind of is indicative of how this game has gone in the last couple of shifts, last couple of minutes. East kind of taking control here despite being down. They can carry that over. Obviously, that's going to play a huge factor down the stretch as they want to make it a strong push to the end here. I mean, what sells yourself better than being a part of a big comeback to these scouts in attendance?
Well, an entertaining second for sure. Our second edition of hockey here from Lincoln. The 2019 USHL NHL Top Prospects game, and after a 2-goal first period for Team West, they would add to that late at the beginning of the second. 2 minutes and 50 seconds in, it was Brady Meyer, the Des Moines Buccaneer, with the assist to Ethan Phillips. That made it 3-0, but East would have an answer from there at 5:17. Linden Green from Ryan Seedham. A couple of aces on the board there, and it was 3-1. But West, just as the East answered, Team West had one as well, as at 17:08, after a pretty long gulf and no scoring for this period, Shane Pinto gets the credit for it. We'll see if it ends up standing or not, but nonetheless, Lincoln Stars fans getting what they want here. They get a goal from Pinto. Both my cohort and I think it might have been Zach Jones, and that, again, as you said, Tim, that's coming from the Lincoln Stars broadcaster. I respect your unbiased opinion there. So we'll see how that plays out, but the final tally of the period coming from Team East at 18:06. So less than a minute later, it was Robert Mastro Simone from Grant Silanoff and Will Francis. And that did it for our second period as we roll our way into the third. 4-2 in favor of Team West. Shots that period, 11 for the West and 8 for the East. 2 period totals of 22 for Team West and 18 for Team East. Well, with that now, we will send you along to Tim's intermission interview that he had with the coaching staff of Team West, that being Cody Chupp, the head coach, Anthony Noreen, the assistant coach, and Gene Riley, the assistant coach. So we'll head to that interview now, and then Tim and I will be back to bring you the final stanza of action here from Lincoln.
All right, joining me now inside the ice box, our head coach of the Team West, and that is Cody Chupp, head coach of the Stars during the regular season, head coach of the Tri-City Storm, Anthony Noreen, and head coach of the Des Moines Buccaneers, Gene Riley. Guys, thanks for giving us a few minutes here today. Just wanted to start real quick with just overall, obviously top prospects is a big event here for the players, but what does it mean for you as a coach to be named? And we'll go around the room. And then, of course, the players as they get a chance to really showcase their talent in front of some NHL scouts.
To be named as a coach on the staff is awesome. It's a cool environment. It's a cool opportunity for myself personally, and to get to work with these two guys and hopefully learn something from them is exciting for me. You know, to spend a couple days around the type of talent that we have in is a really great experience, and I know that the guys enjoy it, and they're excited about this opportunity as well.
I mean, I think anytime you get to represent your league on this type of stage as a coach, it's a special thing, especially considering some of the peers we have and the guys that we have a lot of respect for around the league, and to be a member of the staff is certainly a humbling honor. And as Cody said, you know, to be able to work with two bright coaches and maybe be able to pick something up along the way, and then also be able to work with the players. I mean, at the end of the day, we do this because we love working with young men, and to work with the best of the best is always a fun thing.
Yeah, to reiterate, it's an honor, especially for myself, first year in the league, and just to get to know Cody and Anthony, which in this type of setting I wouldn't have been able to. So it's going to be a neat experience for me. I've been in a few of these at higher levels, but this is pretty neat. And the players, it's going to be fun to watch the players that you coach against and maybe build some type of a relationship there and have some fun with it. So it's an honor to be here and be a part of this.
Sure. Now, obviously, this is an all-star game setting in effect of just, again, some of the top talent in the league. What do you guys expect in terms of pace tomorrow? Obviously, there's a lot of eyes on this game, and Cody, I know you've mentioned it in the past. You know, especially handling the pressures, you know, for these guys. What do you anticipate out there on the ice?
It's an extremely talented group, so I expect guys that are able to make plays with speed, and that's the biggest thing is we want to see guys with good individual habits, both with and without the puck, and it's an opportunity for them to showcase their IQ, because you know we haven't practiced systems for weeks and weeks leading up to this game. They're kind of getting some things thrown at them that maybe they aren't overly used to, but we try to keep it really simple when it comes to the system stuff, so that we allow these players to showcase their skills and their IQ, and you know, ultimately prove that they deserve to be called in June when draft time comes.
Yeah, I mean, I think for these guys, it's not a typical all-star game. I mean, this game matters, and it's important, and it's a chance for them to showcase themselves in front of the hockey world, and against the, you know, probably their biggest rivals come the draft in June. So, like I said, it's not a typical all-star game. It matters. You know, everything they do while they're in Lincoln matters. How they carry themselves around the hotel, around the rink. There's a lot of eyes and ears around, and certainly when the puck drops tomorrow night, it's an important showcase for them.
Yeah, there's 32 teams or 31 teams that will be in this rink tomorrow night, so it's a window of opportunity for these young men, and if they take advantage of it, it could be favorably affect them for the rest of their lives. Believe it or not, it's a big moment for them to showcase what they have, and looking forward to that. And there's a lot of talent out there, and hopefully we'll see that IQ come out that Cody mentioned earlier.
I know you guys touched on it kind of already, but, just as competitors now getting a chance to work together, what's that been like? Obviously, again, this is a player showcase, but you guys get a brief time to kind of sit and pick each other's minds and just ultimately come up with a plan for the weekend. But what's that been like, just kind of being able to break bread here and get this event ready?
Yeah, I think it's a cool experience for us as coaches, because in our profession, you're constantly trying to learn and pick up new things from guys around you and guys above you, and anyone you come in contact with, you're trying to learn at all times. So, I think it's for me personally, it's exciting to get to know these guys, to get to pick their brains, see how they interact with players, see how they are on the bench. All those things allow me an opportunity to hopefully learn, and that's what this is all about from a coaching standpoint, is better all the time and learning from two guys that I have a ton of respect for.
Yeah, likewise. I know Cody and I had a chance to be on the staff together last year, and there were things I picked up from him that I certainly implemented with our team in my coaching style, whether it be a drill or like he said, a way to interact with players. And both these guys are two guys whose teams, in the way they play, I have a ton of respect for, and that starts at the top with the guys that are leading them, and hopefully can pick up a few things this week. And if I could share, I'm open to do that as well.
Well, we've probably been together 10 minutes, so still trying to get to know these guys. But man, what a great league, and I've been in some of the best leagues in the world, and just have a lot of admiration for every single coach in this league, every single coach, especially after the first half of this year, and the grind and what it takes, and the commitment to your players and your organization. So it's a real honor for me to be with these two guys here, and Anthony's done a tremendous job with his program, and Cody does a great job with his team, and Anthony gets the gold medal in the World Junior A Challenge, which is unbelievable for our league again. And for me, it's just a real honor to be around these guys right now. And I'm a little older, but you can always pick something up every single time you're with people, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, guys, we appreciate the time, and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
And welcome back into the Lincoln Icebox. We're at the end of 40 minutes of play. We have a 4-2 score. An exciting battle for sure through the 40 minutes, and East carrying some momentum despite trailing by 2. My name is Tim Mulhaupt, joined by Ben Gislason. As Ben, we get set here in a few moments to be joined by the League Communications Director, Kevin Myers. But first and foremost, I want to really stress the importance of this game for the city of Lincoln. It's a town, again, that has a history with this hockey team. But as you're trying to grow this game, not only in Lincoln but throughout the country, and just try to help hockey continue to progress, it's important to bring in a lot of high-profile people in the building over there in what we call the John Henry's Comfort Zone, and a lot of NHL eyes. And it's not that they're not here. They're here scouting week to week. But to bring this much attention to it, to bring local media in here at their highest levels that they've been, to bring in all these league execs, and just to see Lincoln kind of be a centerpiece right now for how just for one night in the USHL is important, because a lot of these guys are going to go on and have some kind of career, whether it be a big-time college career, and a good number of them probably pro careers at a high level, including the NHL, of course. That's important. Again, I think when you're talking about growing this game, you're talking about spreading its influence. Coming to a place like Lincoln, which is a diehard sports town, is a great step.
Well, indeed, it's interesting too. From an outside perspective, you wouldn't sit here and think about. From an outside perspective, you wouldn't sit here and think about Lincoln being by any means a hockey hotbed. But I'm looking around here. I'm seeing an old school Mighty Ducks jersey. I'm seeing a Justin Abdelkader jersey over on the wall. So there's hockey fans everywhere. And the one thing that the USHL has done so well over its storied history is bringing hockey to places that at least 15, 20, 30 years ago weren't quite sure the difference, to use an Al Michaels line, between a clothesline and a blue line. And so that's been an awesome part of what the USHL has done, and specifically USA Hockey has done, and really, again, growing the game, the buzzword right now around the sport. And this game being such a massive game has been a big part of that. This is a big deal. You look at some of the players that have been a part of this game that have gone on to do wonderful things after getting out of their top prospect days and out of their USHL days. You think about Kyle Connor in Winnipeg, Brock Besser in Vancouver, Jordan Schmaltz, and then Shane Bowers, all the first-round picks, and a litter of other picks in the USHL as well. So with that, though, we do have our special guest joining us now, as Kevin Myers is here, the communication or media and communications director for the league.
Yep, it's good to be on, guys. Thanks for having me on, and it's nice that the official statistician gets some love on the air every once in a while, so that's always good too.
Well, Kevin, I think you're being modest. I think you do a lot more than just a statistician. This is the guy who is the behind a lot of the efforts in this league to really promote these players and get them the exposure that they deserve for the talent that they have and the work ethic that they bring. So, Kevin, Ben and I have been talking about it. We've been able to put it back and forth, the importance of this game. But from your side of things, from the league side of things, how much do you value and how much does it mean to you guys as a league office just to have an event where you can get these guys in front of the number of scouts we have over there to our left, and then just, again, get these players the exposure they need to move on in their careers? Yeah, I think it really is shown over the course of this event that it's really taken a stronghold on the hockey calendar, and not just this game, but the entire USHL season in the league is becoming better each and every year, and you see it in the draft numbers. Last year, Ben, of course, you were there with me in Dallas. 45 players who played in the USHL last season were selected in the NHL draft. That's the most in league history. 57 players in total with USHL ties were selected in Dallas. That was also a league record. And, even this year, the latest NHL Central Scouting list, 67 players with USHL ties named to the NHL Central Scouting Players to Watch list. So, it's not just a testament to this game, which, this game is one of the showcase events for this league, but it's a testament to the league as a whole and how it keeps getting better each and every year, and couldn't be more excited to be a part of it.
2012 was the inception of this game. It used to just be an all-star game, and it wasn't necessarily quite the stage setter for NHL draft picks like it is now. But how have you seen this game? And again, still relatively new to the league, coming in now as your second year, but still, how have you seen this game grow in terms of design, in terms of how it's set up, and in terms of attendance by NHL scouts? Yeah,
I think you see it tonight. You look to our left, and there's almost 100 NHL scouts, every NHL team almost represented, and that's been the case for a few years now. And I said it before, I'll say it again. It's a testament to this league each and every day. You look at the talent up and down the league. You guys see it each and every night. You guys are around it, in the rinks more so than I, but just the level of talent in this league and the depth of talent in this league, really on display every night. And, these are 40 of the top players that are NHL draft eligible in the league, that's for sure. But there's players all over the league who might not even be here tonight who are going to get their names called in Vancouver. So, again, just a testament to the league and the overall success that they've had over the last few years.
All right, Kevin, last one here for you. What do you think of tonight's game? Obviously we've seen some seesaw action there. East kind of builds coming into the end of that period, able to get one back and ultimately pull within two and nearly pull within one. Obviously stage kind of set here, even though it's a 2-goal game, for a pretty exciting third period. Yeah,
you see the talent on that Eastern Conference roster. I would be surprised if it stayed a 2-goal game very long. I think we're going to have an exciting third period. I've been sitting to your left most of the game. I've been going up and down from my computer because I can't seem to escape the computer because of how many goals have been scored. But it's good to get all that stuff out there for the fans. I'm sure they're enjoying it. But it's going to be an exciting final 20 minutes of play, and we'll just have to see what happens.
There you heard it from Kevin Myers, who, given his try here as also intermission host in addition to all the other things he does, or intermission talking head, I should say, in addition to all the other things he does for this league. And Kevin, we thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you guys, the Lincoln Stars organization, for everything you've done to put this game on. And, of course, Katie Goss, the USHL media and communications coordinator, who's run around, done a bunch of things in front and behind the camera this last week. She makes everything look good and makes my job a whole lot easier. So I want to thank her and thank you guys for having me on.
All right, Kevin, well, thank you very much, and we're looking forward to the resumption here of the third period as we have both teams coming back out onto the ice. Well, East is out, West shortly there to follow. As oncoming is Ben Cross, and oncoming to my left is Ben up here from Des Moines. Ben Gislason has been, we just heard from Kevin. We got the word there from the league official as well. You're ultimately going to have a pretty exciting third period to be a part of, as, again, we're talking about different elements of this game. We're talking about momentum swings. But again, I think it goes a long way to not dismiss just the stubbornness of this Eastern team to not go away, for their ability to continue to just fight through the 3-goal deficit they had there in that second. Obviously still a deficit, but things tilting the right way for them. And then for the West, it seems to be, they're just one bounce or two away from, again, right back in the goal column and getting the lamp lit again. We've seen that top line rolling for the West, and we're seeing other contributions as well. It's be shortchanging the rest of that lineup just to say that top line is doing all the heavy lifting. There have been a lot of good, strong shifts up and down the ice, and I think with the comfortability that we talked about before, this should be a fun final 20.
Well, as we heard Mike Hamilton say in between periods, when I sat down with the Eastern coaching staff yesterday, his best advice for these players was, play to win this game. Don't go out there to play and make jazzy moves and try to wow the crowd, because at the end of the day, what these NHL scouts are looking for are players that are going to help them win championships. I mean, that is the end goal. So if you can come out and prove that you're a player that's going to play plus hockey, you're going to be a contributor, and you're going to help your team win, whether it's in an all-star game or whether it's back for the Lincoln Stars, the Des Moines Buccaneers, or whomever, that's what it's about.
And right off the draw here, back down, the puck will roll deep into Western territory. As on the far side, a long lofted pass is going to miss. Looks like it actually was tipped. My apologies. They're down toward the far side, as I forget that we're on the penalty kill here for West for another 8 seconds. So they are allowed the clean clear. And here's a try right off the entry from Blumel, and that's tipped wide by Cross. Here's West up the left wing. That's turned on toward Afanasyev. Back to full strength comes West on the near side. That'll be thrown on by Jurday, and a save by Cross in the crease as he's able to get the pad and the glove on top of that puck.
Chris Jurday, you've said his name a lot. When I was on the call in the second, I said his name a lot. He's been a factor. There's no question. I bet you there's some scouts that have circled his number. I love the way he has patience with the puck, and he's done a really nice job of putting shots on net. I don't have a count on how many shots on goal he has, but he's definitely put pucks towards goal quite a bit here tonight. In fact, he's got now 3 shots on goal from the point. That's doing pretty well for 39 in white.
Andre Lead leads the way as he'll jump one down underneath the goal line and chase it to the far side corner. That'll be scooped up and pushed out again by East, who's looking to keep that momentum rolling despite the unsuccessful power play on the carryover. Michelli circling back, is getting back on side there is East, and that's turned over. And back the opposite way we go as West hops down in toward the near side corner. Down along the glass, a rattle forces that puck free off the boards. Lee tried to keep for a moment, and he gets a piece of it back the other way. That rolls back to Lee, and on the near side, that looks to be the man on the near, I can't see that number on the bench as he changes. Either way, West tried up that far, or near side wing and could not get it out, and over the far side comes East, keeping the lid on the zone, and now wrapping it onto the near side corner. Jackson onto Michelli, and try to bank it off the back of the net and toward the front, and that one's quickly tipped away. And now back out to center, where it's slowed down by Matt Brown. Over the left side of neutral ice, he'll hand it to his left for Shane Pinto. Pinto tried to connect over toward the point, and that was broken up. And now back in, that puck dangerously drifting for Silanoff. Does a nice job tying it up, and now here's a chance. Right in front, Mastromonis handed it off, and that one rolls just a bit too far. As trying to corral and poke home what would have been a quick strike was Ryan Johnson, and now it rattles back onto the near side glass. Pinto applies some pressure there. That one comes back to Janicki. Janicki onto Mastrosimone. He's hammered there by one, and then got the better of another. A shot comes in, and nice job there by Cross to eat it and force a face-off with 17:44 left here in the third period.
Well, we've talked about for Team West the line Brown, Pinto, and Malone, who have been ever so fun to watch. But on the eastern side of things, I tell you what, Janicki and Mastrosimone have started to really put together some pretty good chemistry. We saw it really on display there. Janicki, I think he thought Mastrosimone was going to his backhand and going up top with that one. I think maybe the whole building did, and the only guy who didn't was Mastrosimone, and Janicki wasn't quite ready for the feed. Unselfish, it was too soft of a word to use on that play from Mastrosimone, but almost 4-3. Good start for Team East.
East will now start again through the middle as they'll throw one ahead, and that'll trickle to Cross. Cross on for Johnson. Johnson swings it back around the left side. Tipped ahead, big check there. Does not slow Team West as they're in over the left wing. On the far side, that's scooped up. Turned toward the slot. Now from the top, it's thrown just high. And now turned to the corner where East will try again up the wall. On toward the half boards. That's chopped that by Swankler back down low. Turned toward the front of the net and scooped up by East. And they'll start again, or at least attempt, as they're slowed down the near side boards right on the hash mark. That's lofted to the point. Nice keep by Jones. Jones got some space. Navigates back to the point as he thought about it. Now turns it back in. Rotating down on the activate. Now he throws it in front, and a big save there from Stein sends the puck over to the boards. Regrouping West is now they're starting to buzz on the near circle. That try is blocked high up and out of play.
What a shift by Zach Jones. Circumnavigating the zone, opening up, pivoting. Nobody knew where he was going. And agile, nimble, his ability to move his feet with his head up. And he also, a couple of slick toe drags at the line there to get away from that forechecker, or not the forechecker, the defensive player coming up, taking away his shooting lanes. And what a gift of a pass that was on the backhand to set up Olsen on the left wing side. But a great save from Stein, who we saw some great ones from Seville back for Team West when he was in the game. Stein has been almost as impressive.
Down the near side, East gets it up into the attacking end. Quick cancel there as Johnson will scoop the puck back around. Floats it across as Proctor moves it ahead. That left try was broken up and will come right back down. Now Johnson will move from the near corner up the wing to Phillips. Phillips stretch pass, finds a bounce over to Cronilla. Finish forward, takes a try, and that's deflected wide to the corner. Cronilla staying on it. Now Team West pulls it back, looking from the side of the net to set something up, and that was turned back around on the wrap and pushed wide yet again on toward the near side corner for Phillips. Phillips grinding hard here down low. West trying to put their foot on the gas pedal with a 2-goal lead. That one's tipped back out through center ice, and oncoming is East yet again. As they're in over the far wing, turn toward the top of the slot, drop pass left. Here's an opportunity, sent down, kicked away. Cross stayed with the shot as it was taken from Hunter Skinner. Now back down low, first off, looking to try something from the corner back to the point for Skinner as that connection connects again. Here a shot in front, tipped again, just wide. And it'll be scooped up by the West, and out coming is Callie and Chielli, and that one will be pushed on to center again for Phillips. We'll sauce this one deep and in, and allow a change to get started for both sides, and wholesale version for the West. On through the middle. Into the corner comes Michelli. We'll try to pull that one off the wall. Johnson trying to move him off and get the puck back to friendly sticks. He's able to get it on for Jones, who can't clear it. Now a shot from the point, blocked away as Lee got a piece and racing back the opposite way is Feenstra. He'll come back and nearly turn it over. Now does underneath the net. That one's turned toward the corner. Good effort here on the far side using his size, Andre Lee. Lee down low. Now to the top of the zone. Looks ahead, tries one on and score! In front, that was tipped home, and West will take a 5-2 lead as once again they're able to win the battle right in front of the crease and tip home their 5th goal of the night.
Well, I hate to say it, but I think Sioux Falls might finish in the Western Conference standings a little higher than they're sitting at right now. They have some really good talent. Andre Lee, great work on that left wing wall to just, again, it was like playing rope-a-dope. He was just hanging on to the puck, taking a couple whacks from behind, and a simple play. He spins it on goal. He knew he had blue sweaters in front, and Bolson gets the redirected goal. So, Caden Bolson on the board. He came into this game hot. He had 3 goals in his last 2 games coming into this Top Prospects game. So, good stuff from Bolson and a great shot from Andre Lee. Again, that Sioux Falls team, they lead all USHL clubs with 6 players here representing the Herd, so Scott Owens has got to be happy with what his players have in store for them coming into the second half.
Now on the near wing, it will be West moving ahead again as Shane Pinto rifles one across for Matt Brown. Brown taps it back to the point for Johnson. Johnson wraps it back around the wall to the near side where Pinto tries to hold it in. Off a good poke, he'll turn it back to the point. Jones across for Johnson. Now that's served to the left circle, tipped on, and Pinto will scoop it up back down low. Turns it right in front and under a stick as Johnson will keep the lid on the zone. Now on the second try here, Silanoff is able to poke it free. Back comes Johnson. He's making a nice effort here to keep the puck in. Finally, East gains clean handle as Master Simone had an impressive game tonight, flipping it back to Francis. Silanoff waits down low. Francis will pinch and throw it on. That's tipped to the top of the slot. Backhand easily knocked down there by Cross. Back across from Malone, who chips it out of the zone. Now Silanoff trying to get it on to Master Simone, who takes a shot. Now that one's brought right back in again by Jones, who's buried. Will Francis said no, but the puck comes free to the West, right in front and tipped wide again. As there was some good movement down low to keep the puck from leaking in. Now back around to the top of the zone. That's sent across. Proctor on his offhand tries through a traffic, and that's knocked down on toward the near half wall where it's hemmed out and pushed to center once again. Austin Swankler now giving pursuit down underneath. That's ripped around by Frisch. Now back out to center ice once again. Proctor's there. They'll ladle it across, and that one's pushed on through center. Jumping in over the line, it's Romano. Romano barrels through. Couldn't get a clean shot away, but an impressive effort nonetheless. Keeps the puck alive. Now backhand from the slide. Loose in front. The light went on, and it's waved off. So we may or may not get a second look at that one, but I think the call was correct there. It looked like it came off the bar and stayed out.
Well, Tyler Paquette is staring through the ceiling right now after swinging and missing on that right post. The puck did go behind Stein. I'm in agreement with you, partner. I don't think that one got in the back of the net, but Paquette was behind Stein. The puck was behind Stein, and unfortunately for the Buccaneer winger, couldn't find the right hop and did not find a way to nestle that puck across the goal line.
The officials did have a chat in front of the box, but I believe they've confirmed what we have been saying. I think they're ready to go for the next shift. And pending everyone in their places, yep, we're good to go. And a near miss for the West as they almost made it a 4-goal lead. Off the face-off, that puck quickly won by West. Now Proctor throws one on and just missed the screen in front, looking for that tip. Now Paquette down low along with his man swinging the circle. A feed goes just wide of the net, and another look to the heavens, this time coming, I believe, on the near side from Swankler. And boy, oh boy, he's had a few of those tonight where he's just barely missed putting one home.
Yeah, it definitely. And at this setting, those hurt even worse because you know the people that are watching you in this game. Not that they're not there on given nights elsewhere in regular season action.
Here a try from the point, tip just wide. Swankler trying to get it back, send it to the far post. And that one was sent across as it's just pushed out here. But the West bringing an onslaught here in the first half of the third period. Down in the corner on the far side. West continues to hold as the blue shirts keep the puck down the wall. That one's poked down in toward the back of the net of Stein. Now wrestled free, poked back to the top of the zone and lofted right back toward the net, tipped wide again. That's continuing to hold impressively. Here is West working it back across, and now that's picked up down low. East trying to get the puck cleanly out so they can get a change here on what's been a long shift. The West already filing on new bodies, and finally it'll be Afanasiev gaining the line. Took a seat on top of the puck, scooped up by the East as Silanoff races in. Rather, I apologize, that was Blumel. Now across through the far point. That one's lofted right in. And Craw's able to move over and make the save.
Well, this is a line that I haven't seen as much from as I was expecting. And I remember before the game I was talking with Kevin Myers about that line, Afanasiev, Blumel, and Firstoff as we go to a media timeout here. But they haven't been, maybe it's a chemistry thing, but I was looking at the way that line is composed. You have a great center iceman, obviously, in Blumel. Firstoff is very creative, very talented, and then you've got just a bulldozer on the left wing with a lot of just rugged ability to score. And perhaps they just haven't quite meshed together the way that I anticipated them to, but certainly, if you're looking at this from a coaching perspective that, why haven't you scored more goals? I would definitely look at Blumel and Afanasiev and Firstoff as somebody here in the late stages of this game that could potentially lead the charge on what might look like a comeback for Team East.
51 goals between the trio of forwards, so certainly the line that could answer quickly, and it looks like for the next shift they will come out and try to do just that to answer for Team West. Looks like they'll center with Cronilla between Brady Meyer and Ethan Phillips. And then on the back end, it'll appear to be the Prokop-Fiedler tandem. And off the draw, it will be Prokop going back to get the puck along the kick plate. Firstoff keeps it right there with his skate. Now Firstoff trying to work it away from Afanasiev. And now that one will come back across for Phillips. And it's flipped out for West as Brady Meyer charges in over the line. Drop pass to the far circle, tipped onto the corner. Phillips down to Meyer. Meyer flips it in front, a backhand try-in. The light came on again, but again a bit too early as that one's tipped onto the near side corner, held by Prokop. Prokop walks it down, throws across one time, knocked away, and East is out, and if they hurry with numbers. Here comes Afanasiev over the line, looking for a lane, handed it off, but it was intercepted on a good back-checking effort by Phillips. Back up the ice, quick turnaround by Meyer, finds Cronilla on the near side. He'll turn it around a man, but quickly Michelli moves in to poke it free. Racing in after it is Meyer. And that one will quickly be flipped ahead by Francis down the far wall. Tipped in deep. Michelli racing against his man, and he high sticks right in front of the referee, Jones, and that'll bring a power play coming up here for the West.
Boy, it really, the line tonight for Team West, that the proof is in the pudding in the stats right now, but Cronulla, Phillips, and Meyer have been terrific. They seem to have gelled together quicker than most lines. That whole offensive opportunity began with a marvelous zone entry where all three of them got puck touches, a great drop pass from Meyer to give Cronulla a shot from that left circle, and then they end up drawing a penalty in the process. Granted, it was at the other end, but they've been really fun to watch, and Meyer with a goal and an assist. Phillips as well has a goal and an assist, so they've had a nice night so far.
Off the face-off, West controls on their power play opportunity. It'll be Johnson handing to his left. And it is a 2-minute high sticking call here. He's on the right circle. That'll be Jones, who drew it. Racing down toward the corner, had it poked away. Back out comes the East as they'll race in over the near wing. Now dancing down, it's Ty Jackson looking for his brother, and the shot came on high. And a good job by Cross to use that big frame to knock it down. 10:04 to go here in the third period. 5-2, Team West starting to pull away here. They have a power play opportunity to really try to ice this one. Still half a period to go in East. If they can get back to what they were doing there late in the second, could turn things around. But again, time starting to tick away here as we approach the second half of the third period. And we do have a penalty going the way of Jones. So he just drew one, and Zach Jones now heads to the box. So we'll get 4-on-4 for the next minute and 30. Off the face-off, it was hooking the call. Johnson moves it ahead up the far wing. That's fluttered back across for Kirby Proctor. Nearly had a goal in the second, had to go off the crossbar. Now he'll flip one in front, and racing there just behind it was Pinto, who now takes the puck in the corner. Shane Pinto, who's credited with a goal in this game, we'll see, is now racing the puck over to the corner. Johnson is there, and Brown will lend him a hand. That one's wrapped across as East is trying to dig their way out, not able to do so, and that's turned toward Pinto, now Brown, and those two have been buzzing tonight and nearly found another lane, but the shot from Brown blocked away.
Ryan Johnson has been absolutely sensational tonight. I'm not sure he's missed a pass. He's connected close to 100% of the passes I've seen him make. He has had a wonderful evening. His skating ability is really off the charts. I've really enjoyed his game.
Here's Robert Mastrosimone burying a snipe for his second of the night. Just got in alone, or one-on-one, and was able to rip it right by the shoulder across. How about Mastrosimone? We talked about him and his toughness and the desire of his coaches around the league really to see him on their team, but there he is again, showing off the shot and the finish. Absolutely beautiful goal during 4-on-4, and hey, back within two is Team East.
That was a laser from the left circle, and an aggressive shot from there. That's not an easy pocket to pick in that near side up over the shoulder, but as a left-handed shot from there, it's hard to go back against the green. A smart shot and a terrific whistler up over the shoulder of Cross, and East has some life here.
They'll continue the offensive zone possession as Jurade throws a sharp shot on, tried to get it through traffic, but a good job by Cross to muscle his way over and make that one, and we'll get a face-off on the near side as East tries to make this push with still 21 seconds left in 4-on-4, and then 30 to follow of an abbreviated power play.
Breen and Silanoff on this 4-on-4 here. They could be fun to watch. Definitely smart hockey players in their own right, and both have a lot of wheels.
And here a turnover right to Silanoff, who makes a beautiful move through Swankler, takes a shot, but it's tipped wide, and will come back around to the near side boards. And in there, kept now by Breen. Breen will race it back to the corner as he stops and starts and reverses direction. They'll push it to Jurade. Here's East now on the abbreviated power play as they get the man right from the box onto the offensive zone. The shot was blocked wide. Now it comes over to the near circle. Corralled there by Jurade, who moves his way in. Fights through two. Now to the back of the net. Pushes it wide to Breen. Up top now. That's held on the near side by Michelli. After the pass from Francis, who gets it back. Now dumps it in near side. Now Jurade throws it to the slot. Tipped to the net there of Cross. And that was poked wide. On toward the near half wall. Big check along the wall as West will return to full strength. 5-on-5 we go again with 7:59 to go. Here's a pass to the front of the net. Michelli throws a backhand on. And that one's scooped up and patted back out by Jones. Out to center ice again, where Frisch will turn it right back around. And now he gives it off to Derkulek, who throws one on. Tipped wide by Prokop. And that'll rattle around again to Cronulla. Up the ice to Phillips. Phillips over the line and offside there by a hair was Brady Meyer.
Yeah, forwards consistently are trying to get that jump across the blue line there, and if you play it right, you can catch your weak side D napping. That's what Brady Meyer was trying to do there. And Gene Riley preaches that a lot. He loves to have his wingers dart in right as the puck crosses the blue line because you can get in behind the D quickly as they try to gap up to hold the zones. And so a little bit of perhaps some preaching from Gene Riley over the season there, connecting to Brady Meyer as he tried to jump in, but just a bit too early.
Team East here looking to dig their way back out of their zone and back up the scoreboard as they stare at a 2-goal deficit with 7:20 left here in the third. A long pass down the far boards, intercepted as Phillips flips it right back around. Meyer tried to steer it through the middle and was turned away. Back over the far side, that's lugged in, thrown toward the far corner, but a nice job by Cronilla before it could get away to keep it right on his stick and turn it right back to Meyer, who turns it up on the attack, looking for Phillips over the right wing. Meyer down to the corner. That's tapped back around by Frisch. Now he'll turn it back up the ice. It's around one with a little subtle move there. Turns it back up the far side. Turned toward the near wing, and that's broken up as Drakulik was crashing hard. He's able to use that reach to poke the puck free and send it back down low. Lee in now, gets it back to Johnson, and Johnson starts the breakout as he finds his man streaking up ice as it's turned in by Callian Chielli. Now back to the point again. That's banked off a skate, turned back again by the East, who are quick to repel and move back up the ice. Things slowing down at center as both teams continue to turn the puck over and try to find a bit of stride. Blumel turned back right above his own line and now right back the other way. Swinging that one was Beenstra. Now once again another takeaway, leads a man right to the slot, but just behind on the play by Lee was the man crashing the net, and I believe from up here it looks like, couldn't tell if it was Jones. I believe it was Jones. It might have been Bolson actually crashing the net there, Ben, but looked a little grabby. Looked like he almost drew a penalty. But either way, both teams starting to have a little bit of trouble hanging on to the puck late here in the third.
Well, the next goal is going to be a big one. You look at it, West gets it, they make it 6-3 late, probably puts the proverbial nail in the coffin on the night. But if East gets one and it's 5-4, especially there's some daylight left in this game, things can get awful interesting.
On the tie-up on the near circle. That's floated around the wall by Prokop. Job by Francis to get in the way and slow things down for the West. They try to keep the puck at the top of the slot. A nice move there. Forced there back to the point for West. A shot through just goes wide as they're looking for a tip in front from Matt Brown. And racing away is Afanasiev. He's able to hand it off to friendly sticks and now back underneath. That's swept up the far point, kept in by the West. And a good pinch. That's pushed on now to the far post. And right on in front, a sprawling save made by Stein as he fell and knocked it down not once but twice. Puck moved back to the top of the far circle one time, or heavy slap shot rather. Rattles just a bit wide and back the other way. East comes in a hurry. They're slowed just over the blue line. As that one is quickly turned right back on the attack again. Puckett leaves it for Pinto. Pinto skating in and he's taken straight to the ice. That'll draw a penalty. And that will bring West yet another power play opportunity here with 5:07 to go, and at the very least they'll have some opportunity on the man advantage to try to wind out some of this clock.
It's been fun to watch this game with the lens that you have so much offense on display, so you're not seeing that late forward in on a rush stay back because they're not too worried about turning the puck over or rushes the other way. They're all pouring forward, so you're seeing this track meet style of hockey where a high slot turnover, there oftentimes aren't numbers back. So it's 3-on-2, 3-on-2, 2-on-1. It's really fun and entertaining to watch. A great brand of hockey. The coaches driving them insane, but
here we see Jones trying to float that puck through the middle. It's tipped back out to the wall, held by Johnson. Now back across for Jones. Is yet again on the power play are the West looking for a cash in right there as Jones' shot through a screen was tipped back to the corner. Now again, that one will rattle back out, and East will try to get started here shorthanded. Janicki comes in near wing, throws a shot high, and that one rattles over to the far point. And back out, and the West have numbers, and they are in over the left wing. 3-on-2 turning into a 3-on-3. If the East can get back in time, that pinball of a pass there just makes its way a bit too far out of the reach of the oncoming forward for the West. And now it's Romano back down low trying to battle it loose and work it away from oncoming traffic from the East. 4:20 to go here in the third. A one-timer goes just a bit wide. And now it'll be pushed back out to the point yet again. Held in on the blue line is it'll be Johnson on the near side, flipping it back for Jones. Jones through a screen in front, goes just a bit wide. Another try to the middle, broken up. The East will circle back as Mastro Simone trying to lug it free and move it up the ice. He's pushed to the wall and is trying to kill it. And a good job there by the East to get that collective effort and move the puck back out. West trying to catch him in a change. Back in comes Cornilla. Cornilla bends it in, backhand on. A good save by Stein as he moved over quickly. Phillips trying to keep it down low. It's pushed to the point for Proctor. Proctor back over, gets it right back, and now pushes it to the top of the slot. Catch continues at the top of the zone on the man advantage for Team West. Proctor now down low. We'll give it off to the corner. That's rattled toward the front of the net and off the side there. Stein wraparound try, goes back again behind the cage. And now it'll be Meyer working down low, trying to work the small area here. He took a bit of a hit there, right down on the corner boards. Here falling to his knees, getting the shot on and nearly poking it through was Paquette, but that one will be poked back up the wall again. Tangled there, now chopped free. Pinching down is Johnson, time winding down on the power play, and everyone's back even. As here right back, the West trying to catch in a change. It's Meyer walking in, taking a shot, and a good save made again by Stein as his team was just a bit late getting new legs on, coming off a successful penalty kill. Offside here was Afanasiev, and a time for both sides to catch their breath with 2:53 remaining here in regulation.
Well, it's the usual suspects out there creating opportunities for Team West. Again, Cornilla, Meyer, and Phillips. Boy, Ethan Phillips, his first 3 steps are lightning. He gets to top speed in Mach 5 time. This kid can really move. What a little spin he made in the left-hand corner to charge towards the net front. I mean, that is a lot to handle if you're in your defensive zone as a defenseman, because he gets going so quickly at that top speed. If you take one wrong step, he's going to be looking at you in the rearview mirror pretty quick.
We'll keep an eye on Logan Stein as the East here, if they can get up the ice cleanly, which they do not here, as Lee centers for Callian Chieli, and a good save made there. Quickly moving over again was Stein to get a piece of it, and now it'll be lugged back out. We'll see, and there goes Stein. Extra attacker coming on here for the East. Top of the zone, they'll float to the near side. That's Ty Jackson handing it off. Backhand right in front is loose through a scrum, and it's covered up. As able to fall on top of it there was Cross. Good effort once again by Hunter Skinner to move the puck, and we've seen some of that tonight.
No kidding. Hunter Skinner, definitely a guy on the NHL radar. One of a handful of guys on this Team East that comes in as a B-rated skater, and he was a guy that actually began on the NHL Central Scouting this season as a C-rated player, so his play has moved him up in the NHL's rankings, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. But how about Ben Cross on that save? That was not an easy stop. Pretty impressive work to play a Velcro on that puck and hang on, because there were white sweaters all over the net front there looking for any loose change.
And with a timeout here, Mike Hamilton will talk to his guys, try to draw something up in the final 2 minutes and 15 seconds. As again, Team East trails by 2, and again, gotta give them credit. They've had these late pushes in the period, and of course, things change a bit when you get more into team style play, and I think the West is starting to realize, hey, we can protect this lead. Granted, they're not short on chances, and on the opposite end, Logan Stein has been able to settle in a bit. He's made some nice saves in the last few shifts to preserve this as just a 2-goal deficit for Team East. We'll see how they come out of the gate. We've seen them kind of in these situations before. Slightly, not the exact same situation, obviously, at the end of the second, but that was where their last push was. They're obviously going to have to bring it here at the end of regulation to try to force some more time up on that clock. But at the end of the day, I'm curious to see. I think you're going to see probably those Jackson twins out there if I had to venture a guess.
Well, I've been really impressed by Logan Stein tonight, and granted, he's seen some pucks go behind him, but I love his demeanor. It reminds me a little bit, and Roman Durney in Des Moines is a little more flashy and can be a little more testy at times, but when Durney's really on his game, he has this demeanor to him where he's calm, he's composed, and I've seen that in Stein tonight. When things get hectic in front, he doesn't get rattled, he settles in and he makes saves, so I've been impressed by the Blackhawk goaltender tonight.
Off the tie with the empty attacker, East will win the draw, and they'll push it across to that far point. It's pushed down, now top of the zone. Try for Mastro Simone, looking for the hat trick, but a good save by Cross was able to hang on.
Well, I don't know if that play was designed or not, but it seemed like all 6 guys on the ice for Team East knew that they were trying to load the gun for Mastro Simone in the high slot there, and he kind of lurked his way in. Again, that extra attacker playing in favor of getting that opportunity for Mastro Simone.
Puck play at the top of the zone is moved down. Now back to the point. Mastro Simone throws it backside for Afanasiev. Frisch now holds at the top. He'll float it down to the hash marks. That's turned. A quick shot from Afanasiev. And a good save again by Cross. Did well to read the play.
Now, a little bit of an odd shot choice there from Afanasiev, and You got an extra attacker on the ice, and perhaps just thinking we need to just thrust something on goal and then just converge on the net front, and maybe that's what he's hearing from the bench as well from his head coach, both for Muskegon and for Team East, Mike Hamilton.
East wins another draw here, and they'll push back to the boards. Jones tried to get a piece, and it was flipped toward the net front. Quickly pushed back again underneath. Janicki, top of the near circle. One-timer from Master Simone, blocked away. And now at the empty net, starting ahead is Malone for West. But a nice job there by guess who? Master Simone able to knock that one down and turn it right back to the East, where Ty Jackson will flip it in deep. Out to play it is Cross. That's flipped back down the ice. A long shot will go wide and will come back on the icing. And with 1:17 to go here, East will have another offensive zone face-off. We'll see if West takes a timeout here. Cody Chupp, I think, likes what he sees for the most part. Nope, there it is. There goes the tee. So he'll get his guys a little chance for a breather and perhaps a little further conversation about how to kill off this last push here from the East. And, well, he put the tee up. There it is. I was going to say, he put the tee up, and everyone was moving to the face-off, but we do get the timeout signal.
Well, we highlighted earlier the talent of Mastro Simone, Boston University commit, and certainly puck skills. We've seen his shot tonight on that short side look up over Cross. He's got 2 goals, but the thing that has really stood out to me about Mastro Simone, especially here late on this 6-on-5 and even prior to that, was his ability to find soft areas of the ice. And that's something that's hard to teach. Either you're bred with it, you're born with it, and you know how to find those areas where defenders just for some reason don't happen to fixate their gaze on, and he's done it a couple of times here on the 6-on-5, once right off a face-off in the high slot, and then that second look creeping down, not really the left wall, but just north of that left circle and getting a one-timer pass from behind the net. They're not high prime real estate scoring areas, but there are chances that when you have a shot like Master Simone, he can score from there. And it's creative, it's inventive, and it's hard to defend. And it really, I would imagine, something that definitely Greg Moore loves in his right winger talisman in Master Simone.
And off the ensuing face-off, East will take the puck on the near half wall. It'll be played on by Feenstra. Now a shot from the top of the zone, cranks high, and now rattles over to Michelli, who on the far point tried to pass it off, and just keeping the zone was Francis. That skipped back out to center ice. Michelli will corral and move ahead again. Quickly is erased on a good check at the blue line. Here he is again, Michelli. A third try will just dump this into the left of Cross. Cross will pick it up, scoop it out. Now it's held at the point again by East. Here Feenstra offers one up, and that one's pushed wide again to the corner. As now East trying to put on the last push. The attacking end continue to cycle the puck, looking for a shot lane. And now on comes Feenstra above the near circle, swings it back around. Tries one toward the back door, got all the way through, bounces off the corner for Michelli. Michelli with 27 seconds to go, tried one on, that one's broken up. Out comes Swankler, but he can't get a clean handle, and East will regroup with 20 seconds left in regulation. That one's flipped in. Proctor there, heads it off but can't clear the zone. That's chopped that right at the top, above the left side for the attacking West. They tried to move it through the middle. East-West pass there, intercepted, brought back in, swung on to the far side. Michelli lines and fires, but it's tipped back over to the corner. Time winding down here, final 3 seconds. West will pin it, and that will do it. Team West comes away the 2019 USHL NHL Top Prospect Game winners, and they celebrate deservedly so. Good effort from the East, but just a little too late there. As again, we saw some good push from them, but just could not find that ideal shooting lane to claw their way back.
And for the third time in Top Prospects game history, Team West gets the W. They came into this trailing 4-2 to the Eastern Conference. So in the long game between the East and the West definitely cashing in on some excellent opportunities tonight. And, you know, it was a really evenly played game. The scoreline indicative of it. Certainly Seville had a major hand in the game early when East really had everything moving in their direction. And then all of a sudden, West gets some puck luck. They get an early goal, and then they kind of just took off from there and obviously never looked back. They never trailed in this game.
And in a few moments here, we'll get the team MVPs announced. Each side gets one. I think for East, it's a pretty clear cut. I think Robert Master Simone is the easy choice here, and that's not to discredit the other players out there, but the results speak for themselves. 2 goals, nearly had a third. Just a tremendous effort from him. Tough from the beginning. Took a couple of block shots, and then a big hit. Tough with it, obviously, out there driving his way home and making things happen. West a little bit muddier. A lot of good opportunities, a lot of good stat lines. Who are you thinking here, Ben?
Well, to me, it's somewhere between Ethan Phillips or Brady Meyer. And you know, I don't want to shortchange Cornilla either on that, even though he didn't wind up on the stat sheet with any points tonight. He was a major factor in why Meyer as well as Phillips had some success. You know, to be unbiased, I really do think Phillips was the maestro on that line. He was the driving force. His speed, his creativity, and his ability to facilitate the puck. I mean, he did get a goal as well tonight, but that's where my vote would lie. Between Meyer or Phillips, but certainly plenty of other good performances tonight from Team West as well. Matt Brown had a pair of assists, so we'll have to wait and see where they go with it.
Looks like Master Simone has indeed been handed the East MVP. And then as we await the trophy presentation here, we'll see in just a moment. We'll try to see if our crowd mic can pick it up. The league is out to present the awards.
Deputy Commissioner Denny Scanlon out here for us.
There it is, Ethan Phillips. As you so astutely mentioned there, Ben gets the Western MVP, and well deserved. He facilitated, he scored, he was able to do a lot of things well up and down the ice, and you said that Sioux Falls well represented here tonight. And Phillips a great example of that.
I'm telling you, as a Buccaneer staff member, Sioux Falls worries me. They're a very good club. Their schedule was tough earlier in the season, but they're clicking on all cylinders, and they handed the Bucs a tough loss before this game.
And no surprise there, Robert Mastrosimone takes home the hardware for Team East, and again, well-deserved. I mean, again, we talked about it, we detailed it, his toughness, his ability to score and make plays tonight, just again was a driving factor for the East all evening.
Yeah, he does a lot, and he's a big part of this Steel club. Certainly Greg Moore will be happy to see that, and I'm excited to see Mastrosimone's career move forward. He's a guy that I would really, really be surprised if his name does not get called in Vancouver coming up here in the summertime. So definitely Mastrosimone, a terrific performance tonight. Those two goals, both very good goals as well for Mastrosimone, and definitely showcased himself at a very, very good light here this evening in Lincoln.
So to recap here, as Phillips and Mastrosimone shake hands, the scoring got going. It took a while. It looked like this was going to be, again, a little more defensive than usual than a top prospects game. Took a record amount of time to see that first goal, and it was Ethan Phillips scoring it as he picked up a goal on an assist from Brady Meyer at 12:40 of the first period. Jack Malone followed that up at 14:10, an assist from Matt Brown. See, this is where I think the Pinto point was met. I think he had the secondary. I could be wrong, but Pinto would be later rewarded, as we saw on the stat sheet. We'll have to go back on that one and double check it, but I'm not complaining, trust me. So at the end of one, it was 2-0 as the Western top prospect team had the lead heading into the second, and they added to that right away, or thereabouts, is 250 in Brady Meyer, who had a big night himself. We mentioned him. Ben mentioned him as a very worthy candidate for MVP as well, as he was a facilitator all night of that offense for West. Gets an assist from Ethan Phillips, who ended up taking home the hardware. 3-0 West at that point. East comes back with a goal at 5:17. Linden Green from Ryan Seedham is able to get East on the board. 3-1 game at that point. Then not a lot of scoring until the 17:08 mark. Currently, Shane Pinto is credited with that goal. Matt Brown an assist, and Matt Brown, another Des Moines representative of the Buccaneers there for you, Ben, having a big night. I think that whole line was another great offensive line out there. A couple of opportunities they almost cashed in on as well that could have even made the box score even more impressive for them, but a major factor for Team West all night as well. And then the East MVP, Robert Mastrosimone, comes up with a goal at 18:06 of that second period. Grant Silanoff and Will Francis come up with the helpers. In the third, Caden Bolson was able to get one at 5:24 to make it a 5-2 game at that point. And then Robert Mastrosimone comes back with a heck of a shot, an absolute dart that beats Ben Cross. That one coming at the 10:51 point of the third. East pushes in those final minutes of the third period. They get the extra attacker on. They keep the zone for a good chunk of that time, but ultimately just cannot get one by Cross. And at the end of the day, a collective effort for Team West brings them home this year's win.
Well, I think the next big question is, are the boys going to gather for maybe a pizza and a pool party back at the hotel after this? I don't know if the coaches would be okay with that, considering it's a quick turnaround to when all these guys are back in action. You and I know that well.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be back down here on Thursday over on the other side of the rink doing the call for the Bucks again. But, what a great night for the league and certainly for these players. I mean, that's what it's all about. Certainly a great opportunity to showcase Lincoln, to showcase the league, and it has done that effectively. It's been a great 2 days here, 3 if you count Sunday night, but it's about the player. This is about elevating these players up onto a level where they are in front of the right sets of eyeballs to continue to better their careers. But the USHL, it just continues to better itself each and every year, and you see the draft numbers moving up and up and up, and you see not only the draft numbers but the elite level of the draft numbers. You've got USHLers doing very big things in the NHL right now. We mentioned before Brock Besser, Kyle Connor. Not that the USHL hasn't historically added, very, very high-end talent, but you're seeing more numbers of that now, not just players that are making the NHL, but players like Johnny Gaudreau that are leading the NHL, that are up in those top 5 scoring marks. And it's just, you wonder out here, is there another Brock Besser coming? Who's the next guy that's going to really step up and play in an NHL All-Star game someday? So it really fun to be a part of this for me, and absolutely loved every minute of it. It was a blast. Thanks to the league, thanks to Kevin Myers, and then thanks to you and the Lincoln Stars as well for hosting this and doing such a wonderful job.
Oh, well, we thank you, Ben, and of course we loved having you on the broadcast. Some really, really poignant thoughts there and throughout. And
do my best.
Oh well, I have a lot I can learn from you. I can tell you that just from the personal standpoint. And of course, I think you're a great asset to have to these USHL fans who so passionately follow this, and a lot of family, but also just some really diehard fans. And that's what I see out there. Is there's still some lingering as they watch the players file off on toward the locker rooms. But ultimately, that's what it's about. You said it's about the players, and that is absolutely true. But in the secondary, I think there's a little bit as well to speak for the fans. I mean, again, this is a high level of junior hockey, the highest in the United States, and certainly competitive around the league. You're seeing players like a Shane Pinto or an Isaiah Seville, and I'm just naming a few, that go out and win a gold medal at World Junior A Challenge. You have some alumni from the USHL playing a huge factor in a silver medal finish at the World Junior Championship just a few days ago. So at the end of the day, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think this is a league that continues to be on the ascent, and it's a league that does things right, and that's been indicative through the staff that's helped set all of this up. Again, as I said earlier in the broadcast, they've done a phenomenal job from day one, and that was even before I was here, and they've been planning this for quite some time, and it's gone off without a hitch, and that's something that's very important to these guys. You got to be able to really put together a strong product for these players in order to showcase them in the right way, and I think that the league has done that, and it's a testament to them. And of course, the other workers here. I'm not tooting my own horn here at all. The other workers in the building here work tirelessly at the ice box, and they really do pride themselves on putting on a showcase event like this, and cherish the opportunity to do so. So, I think it's just another good night here for the league. I think it's a good night for Lincoln and the Stars as well, just getting to be able to host this for the second time in their history, a league all-star event, that is. And at the end of the day, I think this was a good experience for all involved. And I think ultimately, like you said at the beginning of the broadcast, this league, this year especially in this group, not that it hasn't been in the past, but this year especially, we saw a lot of talent out there, and I would not be doubtful at all that we hear these guys' names called at the highest levels of hockey.
Well, it was a pleasure sharing the broadcast booth with you tonight, Tim, and I do look forward to getting back down here, back in the regular season swing of things, but really enjoyed tonight, so thank you.
Thank you, Ben, and that is going to do it for us here in our coverage of the 2019 USHL NHL Top Prospects game. One more time, the West takes a 5-3 win in this one. Tim Mulhaupt signing off, as well as Ben Gislason, and we wish you the best of the rest of your night.